All right, guys. We are awake here. I gotta hit some coffee, man. It's one of those mornings where I'm not super tired, but like I'm just slow this morning. So let me get the headphones set up here. I think I'm connected. Let me make sure. Yeah, we're good. All right, guys. So today we have non-farm payroll data today. Non-farm payroll unemployment data dropping. Payroll numbers are going to be pretty important this morning. We'll make a post here. All right, we're here. Oh, I'm definitely sleepy, bro. Look at my eyes, dude. I'm definitely sleepy. I just got up. I mean, listen, to be fair, it's like 5:45 in the morning here in Texas. And so I should be tired. You know, I should be tired. And I am. I mean, listen, it's 5 something in the morning here, you know. We're kind of awake. I'm trying to wipe the sleep out of my eyes, you know. Whew. All right. Gotta wait for my coffee to cool down a little bit, but that's all right. Things are dropping again this morning, so I don't think it's going to be a red week. I think that's going to be the end of the 9-week green streak. Yeah, I think that's going to be the end. I think the historic green streak is done. You know? The crazy thing though, is that like 14,336. Yeah, the crazy thing is that yeah, I'm looking at this post 1719 I'm looking at the percentages here to 16,367. Yeah, the crazy thing percentage-wise, guys, just to give you some numbers here, is that we can have this historic weekly green streak where we had 9 green weeks in a row, and the market moved up 20% over the last 9 weeks. 20% gains over the last 9 weeks. And then when we drop 3.5% here, everybody's acting like it's the end of the world. Like, y'all are ignoring the fact that over the last 9 weeks, we're up 20%. You know, so I think it's important to give some context here to the markets. Market's been running. Maybe we continue to dip. I don't know. I might start buying into this pullback, but maybe not. But yeah, the numbers behind everything here again are as follows. The market has moved up 20% or so over the last 9 weeks. Currently this week, we're down 3.5%. Just to give you some numbers. Markets are very boring, very choppy, very neutral, very difficult for me personally to trade. I haven't been having a lot of results trading And again, I mean, we're funded in multiple different accounts, 3 to be exact on Top Step. So, I mean, we've been having fun with it anyway, but like still. All right, guys, so again, we got this big pullback. SPY is dipping down. We do have Apple bouncing a little bit. If we look at the left side here, here's Apple bouncing a little bit. All right. All right, team. Sorry. QS, funny squeeze. QQQ needs to fill the gap. Yeah, again, just to give you some stats. Over the last 2.5 months. Or we'll just call it over the last 3 months. Or we'll call it over the last 2.5 months. All right, so yeah, prior to this week, the NASDAQ was up roughly 20% in 9 weeks. This week, NASDAQ is now down 3.8%. Where do we go from here? Do we bounce or fade? I'm gonna do this poll on, or I'm gonna do this on Twitter here. Alright, so we just posted that on Twitter. Wait, let me edit this. I'm going to turn it into a poll. Got it. Oh, I can't turn it into a poll? That sucks. Yeah, we don't need to edit it then. Alright. Nvidia bouncing back too. Apple bouncing back as well. Data drops at 8:30. We're gonna put the poll up. But yeah, here's Apple. So Apple bouncing all the way up to 181. Pretty close. Non-farm payrolls drop at 8:30 with expectations for. Let's go ahead and take a look at the expectations for non-farm payroll numbers. Today is arguably the biggest day of the week. Non-farm payrolls, unemployment. We had European CPI come in lower than expected at 3.4% on the year and 2.9% for regular CPI. Core CPI came in at 3.4% on the year, 2.9% for regular CPI. Month over month came in at 0.2%. So better than expected European CPI. Non-farm payrolls expected at 170K, 170. Unemployment expected at 3.8%. 3.8%. With expectations for 3.8%. Both will be reported as soon as released. You know what? I put be sure to subscribe on this, but I feel like I'm like what's his name in A Christmas Story? Say, be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Okay, there you go. You know, there we go. We'll probably just put it up like this. Yeah, but look at Apple. Apple, but over the volume weighted average price. The SPY is right at it right now. Here, we'll put a timer up so you can track this. Yeah, non-farm employment was much higher than expected and made the market dip yesterday. That's one of the nuances that I think is important to watch. Again, much higher than expected, made the market fall. So again, we'll see what this means. We still got an hour and a half or so. Hour and 25 minutes. There we go. All right, so again, there's Apple though. Apple's up. Look at the SPY rejecting right at the volume weighted average price. We'll see if that holds as well. Yeah, I did see Mobileye yesterday. If non-farm payrolls were worse than expected, will the dollar index fall? it depends on what the market's reaction is. So like if defined worse than expected, under expected numbers, I think under expected will probably make the dollar index fall, yes. Because I think under expected non-farm payrolls will make the market move up, and in turn the dollar index is going to do the opposite. But yes, I believe so. As well as like their payroll numbers, so they have to do directly with the dollar as well. But correction is about to end. Hey, we'll see. MD Bitcoin will go to 700K. Where's Bitcoin at right now? Bitcoin back up to 44K. Interesting. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, what's up, BB? Can you check US dollar Canadian? Sure. US Canadian. Currently at 1337. Pretty green today overall. You know, a little bit choppy. Yesterday kind of ended neutral, even though it had a bigger range. Big days last week on the 2nd, or earlier this week on the 2nd. The Canadian, or the USD Canadian, had a pretty good rip. But yeah, not too shabby, team. Not too shabby. We're gonna put a poll up here as well, team. Again, vote on the poll. Let me know how you feel with today's job report. Calls bullish or bearish market action. Bull and bear, vote on that poll. Let me know what you think. Again, I also have this Twitter poll that I want you team to answer it for me here. So answer this Twitter poll. So here's a Twitter poll. Give me a follow on Twitter if you haven't already. Give me a follow if you haven't already. Given some stats, again, you can read it. Prior to this week, the NASDAQ was up roughly 20% in 9 weeks. This week, the NASDAQ is down 3.8%. Where do we go from here? Do we bounce or fade? Let me know what you guys think. Again, at least hit the heart button on that post. Give me a follow if you haven't already. Man, dude. Japan has an airport located literally in the ocean. It costs $20 billion to build, but now it's sinking, according to this post. What do we think about the news today? I really don't know. I hope the market goes up, but market's down 3.8% on the week, and so we'll see what happens. All right, team. So all right, team. Again, sorry, I'm working on some work in the background. Payroll numbers today. A pretty big day, team. A pretty big day. Yeah, again, guys, I'm kind of checking out some other stuff to see what we get here this morning. I see Apple bouncing up. Apple just under the volume weighted average price now at 180.73. You got US Canadian up here. I want to put the NASDAQ up because, again, the NASDAQ is down like a decent percentage. All right, Riot crypto down a little bit this morning, but had a really good couple days. Bitcoin itself is up significantly. Bank of Canada just added overnight repo. We got a print. If Tesla touched 228, 229, don't think it buy. BTI and NU, both my main plays for 24 strong and even end up this rough. Tesla has potential to run to 200 in my opinion, but 230 looks nice. Yeah, Tesla at around 235s right now. We'll see. US Euro, US dollar buy on news. GP pound US dollar. Good year for the dollar is up. What's up, San Diego? Are you going to buy US 30? The Dow? I don't like the Dow, bro. I like the NASDAQ. I like the E-mini. I don't really play with the Dow like that. What is the Dow? /YM is the symbol. Dow at about 3760s, though. Here's the Dow on the left side. Yeah, I just don't like the Dow that much. I just don't know it well enough. Although the trend on the Dow is really nice. We do have this obvious downward trend, I think, of course, right here. We may have a very green market at 24. But with the craziness that's going on in the world, we need more things. Yeah, is gold a buy? I don't know. Gold currently sitting at 2,046. Added another short position this morning on Dow. Entered a short on Monday. How much would a recession affect the market? I mean, that's not really known. Like, we don't know how much a recession is going to influence markets. We really don't. How many words per minute? About 100. I do a typing test every now and then just because people have, like, I never knew I typed so fast. I really didn't. I genuinely never knew I typed so fast. I genuinely didn't know. People on here told me, they were like, dang, dude. Some people accuse me of basically, like, just clicking buttons. And I had to kind of prove them wrong, and I'm not. It's anywhere. I think my best was like 100. I think my worst was like 75 or something. Like, watch, I'll do one real quick right now. Like, look, white. Oh, dude, my computer lagging a little bit. It's technically not a type of chocolate to be considered. Bro, they hit me with chocolate, dude. I can't spell chocolate. It must contain cocoa particles, which it does not have. This also explains why white chocolate tastes different. Giving cats candies is never a great idea, especially since they cannot even taste the sweetness. They just do not have the genes to detect sugar on their taste bud. Dogs often get sprayed by skunks. This is because skunks will lift their tail as a warning, but to dogs, yeah, see, like, they messed me up with that word chocolate, bro. Like, that word chocolate messed me up. Again, I want to get them all right. Oh, dude. They're hitting me with this freaking ad. Sorry, it's forcing me to watch this ad. I'm sorry. Yeah. Jet A. You know? I got 89 just now. 89 words per minute. Here's my scores. All right, here's my actual scores. Yeah, we actually watched Forrest Gump on New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve. Yeah, definitely third fastest typer ever in the world right now. But these are my average scores. 93 was my best. If they didn't throw chocolate in there that much, you know, again, my typing speed was a little bit into pro at 89. You know. Yeah. Yeah, chocolate, man. Again, I love chocolate. What does the new V mean? What should we be looking for? So non-farm payrolls are payroll numbers. It's jobs. Unemployment numbers also come out. You're awesome, buddy. Numbers definitely up. Payroll numbers. Yeah, well, look. So here's the thing to understand. So last week we had, look, so again, here, non-farm employment numbers came out yesterday, as well as jobless claims, which are basically how many people are filing for unemployment. If you look at jobless claims numbers, again, you can see they showed up at 202,000. So under expected numbers, but payroll numbers, the U.S. ADP National Employment Report came in much higher than expected at 164 versus 115, almost 50% higher than expected here. So that is the prelim payroll numbers, and yeah, we'll see. Hit the max loss yesterday on Express, but covered today. Hey, good luck, brother. Yeah, remember, the market might be kind of slow today heading into everything. It really might be. Here's the SPY. Also, y'all slap that subscribe button, hit the like button on the video as well. How many likes we got? We got 320 likes. Looking at our votes here, we asked people, was this job report today going to help or hurt the market? 54% think it's going to help the market, and bullish 46% of people think it's going to hurt the market. I really don't know. Again, I really don't know here. Christopher says Tesla looks like it has a downhill slide. Yeah, let's take a look at Tesla here. Tesla is an interesting stock too. Here's Tesla. So again, Tesla at 236 is here, 236. So Tesla gapping down over 236 right now. A little bit of a bear flag, I think, on this chart. I think, you know, if we're being honest, this looks like a bear flag to me. You know, you can see the bear flag here. John, the links aren't where they need to be. You might have to shut it down. Never, I would. Hey, congrats, G. Hey, congrats, bro. Can you check out DG? What is that, Dollar General? Dollar General, I don't trust the stock long term. And again, it looks like I've been correct. So people asked me about Dollar General years ago. They said, hey, John, do you like Dollar General? Maybe it wasn't years ago. It might have been months ago. Either way, we're down significantly. Since July and August and April. Since the beginning of the year, we're down significantly here. I'm going to tell you why I never liked this stock. Okay, the first nuance or the first argument against Dollar General is this. Brick and mortar retail stores are in trouble. It's not an arguable thing. A lot of brick and mortar stores are going to eventually fail. It's an inevitability. A lot of them are going to fail. Why are they going to fail, you ask? And again, you can't hide from technology. They're going to fail because technology has evolved to such an efficient place that you don't need to go to these stores and buy things anymore. You just don't. Their sales have got to be decreasing over time. And I think the insiders within the company probably understand this better than anybody, is that the sales are going to be dropping over time. This is an inevitable thing for brick and mortar retail. Not all of brick and mortar. It's not all encompassing. You're going to have outliers where, the convenience factor of picking the products up same day are going to compensate for brick and mortar, struggling and becoming obsolete. But Dollar General is certainly not one of those outliers. Dollar General is a brick and mortar company where a large majority of the products that people used to buy at these stores are now simply ordered on Amazon. And you can get same day shipping on Amazon now. And so the shipping in Amazon has become so efficient that you just don't need stores like this anymore. Amazon did a very smart thing. I've talked about this a lot. They've done a very smart thing over the last decade. If you don't know like business and like really like history, Rockefeller was very famous for, ultimately sparking some of the first like attacked monopoly laws. What he did was he bought out the middleman, is what he did. So Rockefeller had this business. He bought out the middleman and took over the market, right? When he did this, Roosevelt got upset with him and started attacking him and putting out Roosevelt wanted to bump him down a peg, but Rockefeller became one of the richest people ever by cutting out the middleman. Amazon has done the exact same thing. Amazon, previously on Amazon, they would rely on UPS, on the U.S. Postal Service, and it wasn't giving them the efficiency that they wanted. And so what did Amazon do? Amazon cut out the middleman. Amazon started creating their own shipping company, and now Amazon is one of the most successful companies in the world. It has gone up parabolically over the last 15 years. Jeff Bezos is now the third richest man in the world. And he goes back and forth between the second and first as well. But Amazon, very successful company. Everybody uses them in the U.S. at least, and really worldwide for the most part, because it's simply so efficient. I can order something on Amazon today and get it by this afternoon. I don't have to drive out to Dollar Store anymore. And I think that's bad for DG. I think that's bad for all of these brick and mortar like good stores that, discount suppliers. I just don't think it's good. And I think in Dollar General, you can see what it's done. And understandably so. Like, look at Dollar General. Since really the spark of this, since 2022, 2021, they've had a really bad time. Really bad time. And again, I don't know what they're going to do short term. I think DG can do anything short term. I think they could go up. I think they could go down. I think they can go sideways. I really have no idea. What I'm saying is long term, I don't trust them at all. And I'm not saying they're going to fail. They might succeed. Maybe they pull out something that I don't. Maybe there's a nuance to it I don't understand. That's possible as well. All I'm saying is I don't trust them at all long term. I think over long periods of time, they're going to become obsolete. They already are to a certain extent. It's going to become more pronounced over time. So again, just to give you some perspective, guys, we made this post on social media. The NASDAQ over the last 2.5 months, prior to this week, the NASDAQ was up 20% roughly. It's like 19.7%. This week, NASDAQ was down about 3.8%. It's down about 3.7% right now. Where do we go from here? We're basically, unless NFP numbers, non-farm payroll numbers come in way better than expected, whatever that means. Not necessarily higher. Lower might make the market rip up. But unless the market can bounce up essentially 4% today, we're going to have our first red week in 2.5 months. Now, it doesn't mean that's impossible. It's just not probable. It's just not very probable. 18C. Oof. Cold, bro. It's cold, dude. I'm in Texas, man. Cold to me is like 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So, you know, I'm a huge temperature wimp. Brick and mortar theory doesn't apply to dollar store. They sell paper towels and dishwasher detergent in rough areas, even though management says problem is with theft. I disagree. I disagree. I think it's even more. I think obsolescence matters even more there. Okay? And again, I'm going to tell you why. Because again, if you live in a rough area, right? If you live in a rough area and you can get the same goods that they sell at those stores shipped to you same day to where you don't have to walk down the street in those areas, what are you going to do? You going to walk down the street and still buy them from there and pay the same amount? Or are you going to buy them off of Amazon? You know, avoid having to walk in those areas and get it shipped directly to your doorstep. I think you're going to take option 2 most of the time, right? And so even if that's not completely true right now, I think over time it's going to be a problem. But again, maybe I'm wrong. Weeks ending red, no way we go up 4%, right? Yeah, it's unlikely. I mean, I don't like definitive statements, but it's unlikely. It's unlikely we go up 4% today. I mean, it's possible. It's just super unlikely. You know, maybe it happens, but. Got a 100K combine yesterday with the discount, made 3K with news. Hey, congrats, Joshua. Indexes have almost never had 4% moves in one day. I mean, never say never. Dude, you don't know those neighborhoods. Grandma don't do internet. No offense, but I do. You know, listen. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You know, like I understand those neighborhoods more than you might realize. Regardless of whether certain people's grandmas use the internet, that doesn't matter. That's missing my point. And like over time, Amazon is already becoming really ingrained in people's purchasing throughout their lives, regardless of age. You know, my dad uses Amazon. My dad's over 70. You know, my mom uses Amazon to buy her groceries. My mom's over 70. You know, and again, as time goes on, and people are going to become more and more used to that. You know, and I think that's an inevitable thing. And again, like I said, maybe even not right now, but I think over time into the future, those stores are going to dwindle. You're going to need them less. You know, you're going to need them less. I'm not saying they're not going to be around. You know, I said this a year ago, and look at where DG is at a year ago. I said the same thing about, what was the other one I said this about? I said this about Dish. I said this about Dish like a year ago. Dish has had a really red year. Really red year. I mean, do your thing, though, FOG. I mean, we could agree to disagree, brother. You know, I get it. I'm not holding DG. I'm not sure if you are or not. But yeah. Anybody squeeze me? Yeah, I mean, finally we might get it. Finally we might get a red week. It looks like. Again, Apple team. Look at Apple. Here's the Nasdaq on the left side. Apple at 181s. Tesla had that little wedge breakout. Tesla almost back up to 237s at 236.60s now. Yeah, I mean, FOG, brother. I mean, listen, it just sounds like you're getting a little emotional about it, bro. Listen, we can agree to disagree. It doesn't matter. You know, you might be right. I might be right. It doesn't matter. I believe what I believe, and you believe what you believe. Again, what it sounds like to me is you're holding this, and you're getting upset that I'm making an argument against it, and that's okay. You know, regardless, it's all love here, bro. It doesn't matter too much, man. Hey, what's up, Biggie? Good morning, dude. What's up, Daniel? ANGO, I don't know enough about this company to really say. It's down a lot, though. It's gapping down a pretty big percentage. I just don't know enough about the company overall. Gold? Where's gold at this morning? Is gold up? Gold is down again today. Still, gold's been roughly at 2050, 2045, 2050 for the last week, though. You know, it stopped moving up as much as it was. But yeah, we'll see. Thoughts on United Airlines or any airlines? I don't know about UAL right now. You know, UAL, relative to everything else, is not up as much as it could be. You know, UAL has basically been flat since 2020. You know, I think it's okay long term. I still think United's going to be fine long term. I don't think it's in trouble, but I don't know if it's going to make crazy big gains either. Like, I don't know if profitability is going to increase significantly. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm in Tesla as well, but again, I'm in Tesla. My average price on Tesla is 205. You know, we're almost at 237, so I'm still very green in it, and it's a small trade I've scaled out of a lot after. You know, again, I bought Tesla prior to the Cybertruck debut, and yeah, so I bought Tesla prior to the Cybertruck debut. In anticipation of it, I thought it would help the Tesla stock, and it ended up being correct. You know, Tesla ended up ripping up pretty big percentages prior to the Cybertruck debut in November. You know, again, it went up from October 23rd. It was at 200s basically. By the time of the Cybertruck debut at the end of November, Tesla was almost at 250, and it's just under that now. But we ended up taking a lot of profit because our thesis was proved correct there. So, yeah, I mean, listen, good day to you, sir. Wish I bought Tesla down here even at just a few shares. I was heavy 5 figures into UAL before recovery. Yeah, just a little lesson, guys. If you come here and I'm like, hey, you might be right. I don't know. I might be right. I don't know. And you're still getting mad, telling me I'm not listening, you know, telling me that I need to do all this stuff. You're just trying to argue today. Good day to you, sir. We don't have time for that, team. We really don't. Yeah, hey, United Airlines just hasn't moved up that much. It really hasn't, is the problem. You know, if you look at UAL at the beginning of 2020, it's basically at the same spot. It's up a little bit. I mean, at the lows, I remember buying United Airlines in 2020, okay, in 2020, just to show, like, sometimes you have to go your own way, and maybe I'm conditioned into that. But so in 2020, after the crash of 2020, basically, I ended up buying up a lot of stocks, right? I made videos about them. I've talked about this many times. One of them was United Airlines. I bought it up at like 20 or 25 bucks. It was something very cheap like that. When I bought it, a lot of people made fun of me. It's one of those really proving moments in my trading where I realized I have to ignore most people. Because most people are biased by their own positions, their own, you know, sentiment. Like, I understand. But going back to this, again, I ended up buying United Airlines at like 20 or 25 bucks. My logic at the time was that airlines are necessary. They're not even like convenience. They're just necessary. People need to fly. It's not that they want to fly. They need to fly. And so when they crashed that much short term, when they dropped from freaking $80 down to $20, you know, a 60% drop. Or I'm sorry, a 75% drop. It's 75%. When they drop 75%, I'm there to scoop up some shares. And again, a lot of people told me that we were going to crash and that the market was going to keep heading down and that it was the worst pick ever and that I was dumb. And then United Airlines ended up bouncing all the way back up to like $50 by June of that year. $50. And so, yeah, that's one of those shares. But again, with all of that said, talking about United Airlines, it hasn't really gone anywhere since then. So United Airlines still at roughly $50. Still at roughly $50. We'll see what happens. If anything, it's now under that. It's at $40. And so that is influencing my bias with UAL. You know, we did the same thing with like MGM. We bought MGM as well at like, I think we bought it at like, I can't remember where it was. It was at like $15 if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was at $15 in 2020. MGM, though, has had a pretty good, like, few years. You know, at 2020, MGM was at almost $6 a share. Now it's at almost $50. And so MGM has had a much better 5-year period, you know, 3, 4, 5-year period than airlines. All right, look at Apple here. So Apple's right here on the left side. We got Tesla up here as well. All right, team. Yeah, I don't think I'm always right. Like, I think something that you'll hear me say pretty regularly is I might be wrong. I don't know. You know, I can recognize that I have bias, of course, like everybody does. Like, I'm certainly biased, and I'm sure there's a lot of these, you know, theses regarding stocks that I'm probably wrong about sometimes. I mean, I think that's pretty standard and normal. I'm never afraid to admit I'm wrong. The only thing is, like, if people start to get kind of like disrespectful about it and then like condescending, that's when I might kind of troll them a little bit more. You know, and again, it's being on YouTube's a really weird dynamic where you genuinely have people creating fake accounts trying to upset you. You know, it's just kind of odd that certain people decide to do that with their time, but I think it kind of comes with the territory. Anytime you do anything cool, people who aren't doing anything cool genuinely get weird, you know, because again, it makes them insecure to a certain extent, and they'll never really admit that with themselves, but like, that's the nuance of being on YouTube. You know, it is what it is. I appreciate the ones that aren't weird and that are genuinely supportive. You know, cheers to you guys. Appreciate the love, team. Yeah, the NASDAQ, I mean, we're starting to bounce back. You can look at Apple. Tesla back over the volume-weighted average price. Again, we'll see if it actually holds. Here's Apple. Apple slightly under the volume-weighted average price. Yeah, that's right, Ace. 100%, dude. Yeah, he's already gone. Honestly, John, I'm not excited for the market in quarter one. I think quarter 2 and 3 will bang. Hopefully on interest rate cuts. I'm novice, though, so I'm here to learn. Hey, all good, Chris. I appreciate the, I appreciate the thoughts, brother. All good, man. Again, I'm not sure what we're going to do first quarter. I think we're up a lot. I think we're up a lot. Again, we're up about 20. We were up 20% prior to this week in the NASDAQ in the last 2.5 months. Now we're down 3.8%, a little bit under that now, about 3.7% down in the last 4 days. And so the question is, do we continue this? We're almost certainly going to end our 9-week green streak that we were in. Again, prior to this week, we had 9 green weeks in a row. NASDAQ was up basically 20%. Now we are down almost 4% on the week. And so the question is, do we now continue to fall into next week? Do we start to bounce? The first week of 2024 is underway, and it looks like it's going to be red. Top 3 coolest traders on YouTube? Definitely top 3. Yeah, I haven't traded at all this morning. Not at all. Maybe I should. I don't know. I haven't done it yet. Let's see. Still always seems to schedule to pop for Xmas rally, then dump after New Year's. Any pattern? Well, I don't know if it's a pattern. I mean, I guess it's a pattern. Tesla's still heading up almost to 237 at 236.75. I finally tapped somebody yesterday that I wasn't able to tap. I mean, I tapped him once before with a guillotine, and that's like my only move. We were working on X chokes yesterday. If you don't know what X chokes are, it's a thing in jiu-jitsu. But they got this one guy. I think he's like a surgeon or something, bro. I should have known. Those freaking surgeon hands, But anyways, very unsuspectingly good jiu-jitsu guy. When you look at the dude, I'm not gonna say his name. But normally, we're pretty much break even. He hasn't tapped me in months, but he has tapped me before, and I've tapped him before as well. But usually when him and I roll, it's like a break even, but he's just really difficult to tap, really hard to tap. Very unassuming guy. Like I said, you look at him, you're not going to think he's like some jiu-jitsu killer or anything. But he's good, man. He's strong. He's the only person that can regularly take me down easily. With a single leg, that is. He can double leg me sometimes too, but he's the only person that can ever really get me down. Most of the time I sprawl, and I can get people in turtle pretty quickly if they shoot on me. But this dude's able to grab my leg and just keep on pushing, and then eventually kind of dump me to my side a little bit and finish the takedown by just continuing to drive forward. But not yesterday. Not yesterday. Yesterday he tried it. I run around, got him in turtle, got him in back mount, so had seatbelt and back mount. Very difficult to finish there, though. He just does a really good job of tucking his chin. And then eventually I spun around, grabbed his neck, and guillotined him. And got the tap. Felt super accomplished from that. I'm kind of mad, though. Everybody at my gym's got 2 stripes now. I only have my 1 stripe. I think I was just not here the last time my coach was giving out stripes. I think I'll probably get 1 next class. But still, I'm kind of mad about it. No, I didn't get a video, unfortunately. It's not a baseball choke. X choke is just a cross collar choke, is what it is. Yeah, how's the new Chappelle special? I heard good things about it. Yeah, that's kind of this guy too. You look at him, you're not going to think he's like some big, tough dude. But when he rolls, like, he's tough, man. He's tough. He's the only guy that can regularly take me down, and then he's got really good pressure. Like, usually I can keep people in my guard for, like, if they end up getting me down, which is very difficult to do. I'm not even bragging. I know it sounds like I'm bragging, but I've always told people, like, listen, I have very good takedown defense. I sprawl really well. Against most white belts, that is. Blue belt will mess me up, okay? But against most white belts, I have pretty good takedown defense. But if people can get me down, usually I'm very weak from the bottom. Like, I'm very weak. Like, they can pass my guard. If they get past my guard, that is. My guard is okay. I can keep people in my guard. If they can get to half guard, they can pass to side control and mount like butter. I suck at side control defense. I'm okay with mount defense, but side control defense, I'm terrible. Half guard defense, I'm terrible. Aside from lockdown, I'll use lockdown to sweep people sometimes. But point is, I'm very weak if I'm on bottom. But it's very hard to take me down, you know, is what it is. And usually I threaten people with guillotines a lot. I can't box at all. I can do a little bit of Muay Thai, but I mean, I could do some combos. Like, I have a heavy bag here, but the data comes out in 40 minutes. 40 minutes. The bulls have gone very quiet. Hopefully today they wake up. Yeah, I mean, again, the market's up 20% prior to this week, and now we're down 3.7%. And so, you know, again, you look at everything here. Let's take a look at the QQQ. Is the easiest way to put it. Here's a weekly chart on the Q. Again, the market moved up 20%. You know. And now we are down 3.7%. So, I mean, we're still up huge over the last 2.5 months. But we're not looking great this week. It looks like the green streak, you know, the historic 9-week-in-a-row green streak is going to end this week. It's not going to make it to 10, unfortunately. Not unless the market rips up over 3.5% today. Unlikely. But, I mean, it's possible, but it's just unlikely. It's less likely that the market's going to rip up almost 4% today. No, I am from Louisiana. But yeah, you'd probably knock me out if we sparred in boxing. I suck. You know, never really sparred it. My friends and I would box when we were young. So in my friend's yard, we had some gloves, and we would box. You know, and I did all right. You know, I was braver than I was skilled. I'll put it that way. I've got my best friend in the world. He's kind of this big dude. He's 200 plus pounds. When we had this friend group of like 5 friends when I was young, and like I was like the smallest out of my 5 friends. I've gained a little bit of weight over the years, but back then I was like 120 pounds, you know. But I'm kind of like lanky and long, and so I would box. I was the only one that was willing to box my friend Britt, who again 200 plus pounds, like strong dude, good boxer, right? And I remember him and I boxed. And, bro, I hit him with a couple quick little punches, you know, and I thought I was doing well. He hit me one time in the jaw, and I was down. I remember this. And again, I remember I sat down by the tree in his front yard like, damn, you know. My other friend thought that he could beat Britt. And, like, they would talk smack a couple times. Eventually, one day, the friend who was a little bit stronger than me, a little bit older than me and stronger than me, but he wasn't as big as my friend Britt. Eventually, they boxed as well. And, man, Britt ended up dropping him like 10 times in like 3 minutes. Just over and over again. He would get dropped, stand back up, walk back over, get dropped again, stand up, walk back over. And so we used to box as kids. It's been a long time, though. I'd probably suck. I'd probably get knocked out. What does everybody think about gold? I think gold's been mostly flat over the last few weeks. Yeah, gold. I mean, gold hasn't really done anything. It's down a little bit on the week, but gold has been sideways since the beginning of December. Yeah, I mean, the market can certainly drop this many days in a row. The market's had 8 or 9 green weeks in a row. And so a couple red weeks certainly can happen. And that's kind of what we're in now. If you look at a daily chart on like the Q, you know, the Q has dropped 5 days in a row. But again, people are going to take that out of context. I think when you look at the trend, I think we're actually at the bottom of the trend line now. I think if you look at this trend from the green streak that we've had, like check it out, look. So again, we've got this trend here. I think we're kind of at the bottom of that trend now. I'm not saying we're going to bounce, but I think it's arguable. I think it looks to be you know, the trend is clear, and now we're kind of at the bottom of that trend right here. You know, same kind of bottom there, but who knows? You know, we're all just guessing here. I certainly don't know. Non-farm payroll stronger as both jobless claims and ADP came in stronger. Yeah, so jobless claims came in lower than expected, signaling more people working. Prelim employment data showed much better than expected, almost 50% higher number than expected. And so a lot of stuff signaled more jobs. The question is, what does the market actually want here? Is the real question is what the market actually wants. Does the market want less people working? I think it's arguable that they do. I think the market might want less people working. See a nice 0.8% up today. Maybe we have a green day. But again, what seems to happen with bears a lot of the time is like they'll say, oh, this is a fake move, a big fake move when we're moving up. You know, and again, we're up 20% here prior to this week. You know what I mean? And then when we have a couple red days in a row, then they start acting like somehow they were right, even though they've been calling the bearishness way back here. So again, it's kind of like we move up like this. Silence, we pull down that much, up, we're crashing. Move up like this, silence, you pull down that much, up, we're crashing. Same thing, that just kind of repeats. Maybe I'm just super bullish though. I'm just bullish in markets. I might start to buy stuff, but I'm not going to get in too heavy. I'm going to give myself room to average in a little bit more if I need to, I think. I'll probably start it off with Apple, which has had a pretty big pullback, and I think Apple's one of the safest long-term companies. All right, we just bought a little bit more. Fixing our average into it. Buy a little bit more here. We'll keep it at that. Where's bonds at right now? Bonds, let's see the 10-year. Bonds almost up 4% again. Bonds almost at 4%. Tesla is interesting. I'm in Tesla already, so I've been in Tesla. Tesla longer term chart's interesting for sure. Great year. Pullback. Again, I think we see the same trend in everything right now. You know, again, I think we see the same trend. Maybe this is not the trend, but I think it's pretty clear. Like, look. You know, I think that trend has been very obvious. That's probably the worst trend ever drawn, but I think the trend's okay. And I see this in a lot of different things. Like I see this in the SPY and the NASDAQ. So the real question is, do we bounce at the bottom of this potential trend? You know, we see this trend in the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow, Tesla, Apple, you know, most blue chip / index funds. We see this type of trend in, and we're now at the bottom range of it. Again, the real question is, do we hold now? I'm not sure. Explain that, Sam. Future Eddie says, yo, John, what's good? Could you short stocks on Top Step in the Combine? No, you can't trade stocks at all, but you can trade index funds like the S&P 500, basically the SPY. You could trade the NASDAQ, the QQQ price action, basically in the NASDAQ 100. You could trade gold. Patterns are very similar to stocks, though. And a lot of the time I'll look at like Apple and Tesla and Amazon to influence my future positions. You know, so like if Apple or Amazon or Tesla drops really big short term, then I'll kind of piggyback off of those big drops and short the S&P or the NASDAQ and kind of attack that. But you can't short or trade individual stocks directly. Does the promo code still work on Top Step? Let's check it out. All right, so we got our third funded account now. That's nice. All right, guys, we got about 600 people here. We still got almost 30 minutes before this report. Looking to be the type of year that buying all pullbacks will be very profitable. Average return on election year is 7% with weakness around beginning spring. Yeah, maybe. I'm hoping so. But again, the way you have to look at these dip buys that I get involved with, right, is the same way like last year we were nicely green in markets, mostly because we waited for weak times to buy pullbacks and then attack those pullbacks. You have to be patient. I only buy whenever we have significant pullbacks. Like, I don't want to buy. Number one, I'm willing to hold a lot of this long term. So I'm willing to hold a lot of this stuff long term anyway. Hey, man. How you doing, bud? Love you, buddy. You doing okay, bud? Yeah? All right. You're looking cool, bro. You want to see my son? How you doing, man? He's got his headphones on. I know. My bud. Huh? Where'd you go? There you are. Alright, bud. Here, hold on. I'm gonna mute it for a second. All right, guys. Right, exactly, Thomas. Like, I swing trade stocks. Yeah, he's got my headphones on. It's all right. They're not even on right now. I think his headphones are out. Love you. Have a good day. Yeah, always good to swing. Yeah, I mean, most of the time when I swing trade stocks, you know, I always, when I invest in anything, it's genuinely. Not genuinely. It's generally only stocks that I'm willing to hold long term. Now, there's a few examples, or there's a few outliers there, like, but overall, most of them are stocks I'm willing to hold long term because I think the biggest, most profound edge you get is on the upside in broad markets. Like in blue chip markets, S&P 500, NASDAQ index funds, they're going to go up over time. Now, you might get a bunch of new retail traders that just want to short everything because they want to be Michael Burry or whatever it is, but overall, when you zoom out, the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow is going, you know, they are going to go up long term. It's not really an arguable thing. They have a incredibly big chance of going up long term. And so when I buy up stuff, I usually buy up stuff that's weak over the last week, pun intended, I guess. I usually buy up weakness in blue chips. I always call myself kind of a bottom feeding dip buyer. I look for healthy companies that I'm willing to hold long term that have pulled back significantly, and I buy those dips and I sit. And if it goes back in my favor short term, I'll take profit. If I'm wrong short term, I'm usually willing to just hold that long term if I need to as well. And they're almost all going to be green long term anyway. And so regardless of what happens, I'm usually making a little bit of money on the trade. And that's what made me green last year as well. It was pretty easy to be green last year with how much bullish action we had, especially towards the end. But still, you know, that's kind of my system. Burry got smoked on his short. Yeah, man, it was one of those weird things. You get a lot of like Michael Burry, like people idolize Michael Burry a lot. And so after he announced that short position, the market dropped for like a week. And bro, I don't know how many people came in here trying to be like, Burry's short positions are killing it. And then the market ended up ripping up huge. And the same people are just cricket. They're just silent afterwards. And so Burry, man, again, I feel for him. You know, I feel for him. He must have lost a lot of money in those short positions with how much the market ripped up afterwards. It was a lot, you know. That's your twin? Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Looks like a better looking version of you. That's okay. Hey. I'm still at the loop. Got my cash ready. Hey, good luck, dude. Google? Let me see Google. Yeah, Jack actually looks a lot like I did when I was a kid. So when I was a kid, I had blonde hair just like he did. True, but after 2000, it took 17 years for the NASDAQ to get back to break even if you buy it at the top. Yeah, for sure. I'm not saying it has to go up. What I'm saying is that's okay. So the difference here versus 2000, right? You want to know the difference here versus 2000, all right? So let's take a look at it, because this is an important topic I hear people talking about a lot. In 2000, all right, we were consistently breaking highs. Like, look at this. We were consistently breaking highs. Very few big pullbacks, very few significant pullbacks here. Like, this was basically the market from 1995 all the way to 2000. All right, so this is the market from 95 to 2000. This is what's called the internet boom, where a lot of online companies, this was when the internet first gained like notoriety. And internet stocks, anything with .com at the end of it that went public would end up being wildly successful and just inflated. And so again, this is called the internet boom. Eventually, people realized that everything with .com at the end of it wasn't necessarily a success, and we had this major pullback from it. It's called the .com crash. Yeah, the .com crash. So you can see big significant drops, and we bear marketed for years after that. We bear marketed for years after that big drop. You know, we were down significantly for years after that big drop. You know, you can see we were down all the way to 2003. So we dropped and had a bear market for 3 years. It's one of the 3 times in history where we've downtrended for longer than a year. You know, and then of course in 2008 we had the mortgage crisis and the mortgage crash. So we had 2 very big crashes back to back. You know, when you correlate that with something like this, right? So like this recently happened, and so we haven't been anywhere near long-time highs on the SPY, at least on the S&P. We haven't been anywhere near long-time highs for 2 or 3 years. Like the last time we were close to highs was 2021. That was 3 years ago. And so if we were breaking highs and really extended and like pushing well over highs and all that stuff, maybe I think that would be arguable. But I don't think we're there yet. You know, I don't think we're there yet. A lot of bearish traders are acting like we have just been flying past highs. And if anything, like the last year was kind of a rebound year from a crash. So the last year was kind of this big rebound from not a crash, but a major correction. And so it's not like the market was super extended prior to this last year. This last year was kind of a rebound year from all of it, if that makes sense. But again, people are acting like, and this is my argument for why we weren't gonna crash last year. Is because people are acting like we are just shooting well over highs to justify their bearish views, right? They're acting like we're going like this, and that's definitely not what we've been doing. If anything, we're kind of just now coming back from the 2021 crash that we had, not the 2021 correction, I'll call it. And so I guess my point is we're not in some super extended state like we were on the .com boom, where we moved up for 5 years in a row, breaking highs every year and all that stuff. Like, we haven't been near highs in years. And so it's a different market, in my opinion, different market. But again, maybe I'm wrong and maybe we do dump, I don't know. Do you think there are people or bots that manipulate low floats, like on 3 million float stock? Oh, absolutely there are. I mean, what it really is so again, what it really is for low floats is you get big gurus manipulating people, right? Like what a lot of the big time gurus are. And I think they've lost, maybe I'm just not paying attention to them as much lately, but the big time gurus do specifically this, all right? And this is how you protect yourself in trading. And a lot of people might get mad because a lot of people desperately want to believe that some of these penny stock gurus are telling the truth, because it means that they could potentially find financial freedom. And so it's a hard thing for people to accept when I talk about what I'm about to talk about. So I'm going to preface this with like that understanding. This might hurt your feelings if you think you're about to get rich in penny stocks. All right. A lot of these penny stock gurus, what they do is they have these huge followings, right? They have these huge followings. They front load into low float stocks. So they get in really, really heavy in low float stocks, right? Prior to saying anything about it. So you got a stock with a float of 1 or 2 million. They buy 50,000 shares of it. Then they announce 20, 30 minutes later, after they've effectively scaled into that position, then they announce to all of their 5,000, 6,000 viewers in their chat room, hey guys, I just bought ABC penny stock, right? What happens when they announce that to 5,000 or 6,000 people live? Those 5,000 or 6,000 people all kind of tunnel vision buy up those shares. And with a low float stock, it's going to make the stock pump up higher. Like, it's going to make the stock pump up higher. And when the stock is at its peak, at its climax, the penny stock guru then unloads all the shares. And once he's fully exited himself from that position, again, manipulating that stock so he could profit from it. And this is what a lot of people, Atlas Trading, this is what a lot of other penny stock gurus are doing. Then say the guru exits and then announces to the following, hey, I'm out. That low flow penny stock then crashes down, just absolutely crashes down. Half of the people in their chat room lose everything from it because they get stuck in this huge monumental crash in a penny stock. And say the guru makes 20 or 30K from that, from specifically artificially pumping up a low flow penny stock to their following. Then they snapshot that 30K in profit they made from it, and they post that to social media and say, hey guys, I made 30K yesterday. Let me tell you the strategy how. And they give some nonsense strategy that they're obviously not using. Like, these gurus are instead manipulating and pumping up these stocks, taking a picture of the profit and then using the profit they make as justification to buy their course, right? So they're making money on both ends of it. They're manipulating penny stocks to their following, leaving half of their following losing money. And then they're pretending to just be wildly profitable, even though their followers are not going to be able to recreate this because their followers aren't going to be able to manipulate and influence low float stocks to that degree. And so that's how they're getting people. You know, and again, when you try to tell some of the guys that are following them this, they're desperate. Oh no, that person's legit. You know, they made money. They show broker statements. They show whatever it is. Like, in the end, guys, if somebody was really that profitable, you would see their broker statement every single month. There's no better credibility building thing than them showing you that broker statement every single freaking month. You know why you never see somebody's broker statements every month? Because they're all full of crap. You know, that's the truth behind it all. And again, I'm not claiming to be profitable. I'm not claiming to be super expert trader or anything like that. I don't want that smoke. I don't want to have that much pressure. We mostly report on economic reports here. Like, my channel is called Beginner Trading, but understand what it is. You know, a lot of people get blinded by that, especially new traders, and they just lose everything. And so, again, understand what it really is. And that's what it really is. All right, team, we got 15 minutes. I'm not giving chat any ideas. I'm telling the chat what to avoid. Yeah, no, it's all good, bro. It's all good. As a beginner trader, got a question. Can we make a living day trading and not have a YouTube channel? Yeah, I mean, you could. Will you is a different story completely. I mean, anybody can. I mean, again, sorry, my nose is kind of stopped up today. Anybody can, right? Whether you will is a different story. It's incredibly difficult to make money as a new trader. The reason it's difficult to make money is because there's a conditioning factor here. What I mean by that is you have to do the correct thing over and over and over again until it becomes second nature, until it becomes instinct, basically. That's difficult to do as a new trader. You don't have those good instincts in the beginning. And so regardless of what course you take, who you follow, you're probably going to lose money in the beginning. And that should be an obvious very understandable thing. It's one of the reasons in the very beginning, you should be trading very, very, very small, very, very small. Like, this is something that you should be doing. And again, I've been giving people the same talking points for years. I've even seen some bigger channel that's anti-guru hit people with the same talking points, and I'm not against it. Let them tell people. I've been telling people this for years, and it's important that people understand it. I'm not against that. The more people that know, the better. It's all good. But again, understand what it is. Day traders lose. Most day traders lose money. You know, it's one of the reasons I believe in funded account programs. And again, they're a sponsor of mine, and so I'm biased, of course. I always try to put this up front. But people hate on funded account programs, and I certainly make money as a trader from these funded account programs sponsors. But In a funded account program, if you're trying to learn day trading, it just limits your risk. Like on Top Step, they give you a demo, they test your skill. If you can pass the test, they fund you. If you can't pass the test, you're only out what you pay for the combine. The base one's $50K, it costs $49. And so you get a $50K demo. If you can make $3K without losing $2K and following the rest of their rules, they fund you $50K with a 90% split and pay out millions, fund thousands a year. The great thing about this, again, most day traders lose money. And that's an obvious thing. Any trader that's telling the truth will tell you that. And so you can either put up thousands yourself, trying to look good or whatever it is, and probably lose thousands of dollars. Most new traders lose their first few accounts. That's just the truth. Or you could try a funded account program. If you lose, you're only out what you pay for it. So the base one's $49. So you lose $50. If you're good enough to pass it, again, you still get a 90% split. So you're keeping most of your money anyway. Free funding, coaches, all that good stuff. And so because of that, I truly do think they're good for traders, especially judging from my own started day trading where I lost $3,000 or $4,000, which was all the money I had at the time within a couple weeks. I was heartbroken from it. And so again, if you want to check them out, they're a sponsor of mine. There's the link if you want to check it out. But again, of course, I'm biased. I think they have a big sale. Let me see. I think they still have their sale. I could try the sale out. I think they still do. I'm not 100% sure. Let's try it. I think you can still use the promo code. I know yesterday, if you haven't used it yet, I still think there's a promo code that you can use. Let me try it. All right, so again, we're going to try to use the promo code. I think it's New Year 2024, all lowercase. New Year 2024. You can try New Year 2024, one word, New Year 2024, all lowercase, and hit apply. And if it might work for you. It might work for you. It might not. I think it'll only work once, but it should work. You can try it out. Yeah, so today might be the last day for that promo code. Hey, nice Har. Congrats, bro. Why are you spamming sell so much? Hey, congrats, Lil. All right, guys, we got 900 people here. We still got over 10 minutes until this report drops. Non-farm payroll data. Again, hit the like button. Do we have over 100 likes? We do. My guys, thanks so much. Again, I told you guys the same thing. Prior to this week, NASDAQ up 20% in 9 weeks. This week, NASDAQ is down roughly 3.8, 3.7%. Where do we go from here? Google bouncing back. Apple bouncing back a little bit. Tesla fighting back this morning. Over 237s currently. Over 237s. We're going to get ready to potentially trade here. Uh-oh. All right, team. I gave you a voice, live or die. What? Are you quoting Batman, Brian? Oh, Star Wars, bro. Okay, got you. Honestly, I'm a big Star Wars guy here. My daughter and I show with Star Wars growing up. Good morning, my friend. Keep up the good Good job going, and thank you for all the info. Happy New Year. Thank you from Life Around the World. Appreciate it, brother. Thanks so much. It's going to be interesting this year, John. What do you think? I hope so, bro. I hope we get some good stuff. I haven't seen the Obi-Wan series, bro. It's been a while since I watched anything Star Wars. The last one I watched was Mandalorian Season 1. Haven't watched it since. I do from 1 to 130 day trading. Is it good? It's pretty solid. Depends on your account size, but yeah. Hey, love the channel. What do you think of QuantumScape? I don't know enough about the company. And I'll always try to tell people the truth. I don't know enough about this company. Big pop, though. This thing's up big percentages, in like 50% or so, right? In the last couple days. It's a big move. Bonds are up again this morning at over 4% now for a 10-year. I think some beginners are better than old because psychology effect. A new trader that is not greedy and follows his plan. I think it varies. I think the problem with new traders is that they have no fear of markets. You know, they have no fear for markets. I think market fear is important. If you don't have market fear, you're destined to lose tons of money. Where can we see the conference live? What conference? There's no conference today. Spot Bitcoin ETF approval today. We'll see. Glad I waited a second. I was like, oh, we got another weirdo. Time to get the hammer out. Yeah, I was sitting there like, oh no. You know? No. Yeah, ain't that the truth over confidence? Yeah, for sure. I mean, it really is. There's no conference for non-farm payrolls. It's just data that comes out exactly at 8:30 in 7 minutes. Oh, here, my bad, guys. Here you go. Yeah, y'all be ready. Again, non-farm payrolls are the biggest release today. Again, they're expected at 170K. The question is, how does the market respond to this? Again, I think it's something, my guess, and again, it's purely a guess, is that if we come in under the expected number for payrolls, that the market's going to move up. That's my guess. I could certainly be wrong. But that's my guess here. I think if we come in under the expected number for payrolls, market's going to move up. And if we come in over the expected number for payrolls, the market's going to move down, is my guess. Again, not 100% sure. I think the market still fears inflation. I think if anything, if the non-farm employment change report yesterday shows anything, it came in much higher than expected and the market dumped down from it. And so with that said, yeah, I think that's where we're at. So again, I think it might be something in which we get a lower than expected number for payrolls and the market likes it. Not 100% sure. You want to see Carol? Yeah. My wife Carol coming on stream.
Morning.
Hey, baby. How you doing? All right. I'm forcing her on stream. She probably got to talk to me about something. Hold on. All right, guys. Sorry. Talking to Carol. Yeah, no, I'm not getting scolded. No, my dad's coming in town today, so we're kind of planning that. Is all it is. Trash day was not yesterday, yeah. My dad's a watch guy. I'm really excited to show my dad my watch. I got a new watch. I'm really excited to show somebody my watch. I'm kind of nervous to show the stream about my watch. But if y'all really want me to go grab it, I'll go grab it. But I'm kind of nervous to show anybody the watch. My dad's a watch guy. And so I'm excited to show him it because it's probably, you know. Here, I'll show it to you guys after non-farm payroll data comes out in 3 minutes. Oh, I definitely splurged. Here, I'm gonna show it after the stream. Y'all remind me. It's not a Patek. Y'all remind me. Not the stream. After payroll numbers come out. We got 3 minutes though, so I gotta focus on this. But just remind me afterwards. I'll show you. 40K? No, I didn't spend 40K on it, bro. I don't have that much money, dude. I'd be scared to wear a $40,000 watch. I'm not saying I didn't spend money on it. I definitely didn't buy a Richard Mille. I don't like Richard Milles. I don't like AP. I like APs a little bit better. I certainly don't like Milles, though. Richard Milles look like kid watches to me. No, I didn't get a Patek. It's not a Submariner. I almost bought a Submariner. And I'm going to tell you the story behind it, all right? Anyways, actually, no, I almost bought a Submariner. I'll tell you the story afterwards. When I bust out the other watch, I'll tell you the story of it. I had to haggle. It was like this deal going on, and so it took time to get the watch, but not an Omega, not a day date. What did your dad say when you started trading? He told me not to do it, basically. As did my wife, you know. All right, guys. Hey, we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Hit the live button next to the play button. Yeah, I wanted a Submariner, too. All right, team. All right, guys. Hey, look, the SPY of 466.40s. We got Tesla on the left side. I'm gonna put the gold chart, or maybe I'll put the QQQ chart up. We got the QQQ on the left. It's starting to push up a little bit. Tech is starting to bounce back some. Not as the SPY hasn't really bounced back as much, but on the Q we are over the 200 EMA, over the volume weighted average price. We've got about 1,400 people here live right now. I'm gonna throw this thing in sub only mode. If you haven't already, hit the sub button, team. Hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. Not the Pepsi, Steven. Not the Pepsi. All right, team. Less than a minute here, guys. Less than a minute. Again, hit the live button next to the play button. Hit the notification bell. Yeah, I didn't get a bust down anything. 40 seconds, guys. 40 seconds. All right, guys, 30 seconds. Non-farm payrolls expected at 170. I think if we come in under expected, market's going to move up. Over expected, market's going to move down. But we will see. Again, we got less than a minute here, team. Less than a minute. 10 seconds here, team. 10 seconds. All right, here we go. And there's the report. Payrolls came in at 216,000, way higher than expected. 216,000 for payroll numbers. Unemployment came in lower than expected at 3.7%. More jobs than expected, and the market reacted negatively, exactly like I told you guys. I thought if we came in under, market would move up. Over, the market's moving down. The market does not want more jobs, and the market is dropping down from higher payroll numbers at 216. Versus 170 expected. 216 versus 170 expected. Again, I told you guys the market did not want more jobs, and the market is reacting very negatively to this report. Again, 216 versus 170 expected. Way worse payroll numbers, higher payroll numbers than expected, and the market again is not liking this at all, dropping down significantly here. Again, we cover this very quickly. We're going to put this up on screen. All right, we're going to put this up on screen. And then, again, I'm going to post this. NFP came in at 216 versus 170,000. 216 versus 170K. Unemployment showed up at 3.7% versus 3.8%. All of this signals more jobs than expected, which is going to be seen as a worse thing in markets. Exactly what I told you guys would happen, which is that the market does not want more jobs. Market does not want more jobs. This is a very obvious thing. All right, market does not want more jobs. And again, that's kind of what we're seeing from this report. Market does not want more jobs. That's what we're seeing from this report. Wow. Yeah, I mean, guys, anybody acting like this is the end of the world, obviously, like, we're still pretty green on the last few weeks. I mean, market's down significantly, of course, but, like, here's the last 3 weeks, guys. You know what I mean? So, like, here's the last 3 weeks, or here's the last 2.5 months. And so we can't say this is the end of the world whenever we've done this over the last 2.5 months. I mean, is it good? No. It signals more jobs. Again, the reason the market's reacting negatively to this, if you want to understand the logic behind it, the reason the market's reacting negatively is simple. Jerome Powell said the biggest obstacle to the U.S. hitting the 2% inflation goal over time is the robust and resilient labor market. And so when the labor market comes in stronger than expected like this, i.e. more jobs, lower unemployment, the market's going to interpret that as a negative thing because it means a stronger labor market. That's what the Fed said is the obstacle to us hitting the 2% inflation goal over time. And so the obstacle is the labor market. And so when the labor market is strong, the market's going to drop. This probably means the dollar index is going up right now, right? Yeah, dollar index ripping up, as I said. And again, this is a very predictable reaction here. As I told you guys, very predictable. We'll see if it holds. We'll see if it holds. We're just reporting numbers here, team. We're reporting numbers. Let me know what you guys think. Also, again, if you want to check out one of my sponsors, check out TopStep. If you want to day trade this, you can day trade futures on TopStep. Look, here's the Dow, for instance. I can day trade the Dow in futures. I can essentially day trade the Q price action in futures. And what's called the E-mini. Look, this is the same thing as this. Look, this is the same as this, but I can trade this right here with no PDT rule. I can buy market, buy bid, sell the ask, just like stocks. No PDT rule in futures. I can day trade short, all that good stuff in futures, no PDT rule. And TopStep is the most legit futures funded program in the world. Again, it's the best of both worlds in which they give you a demo and they test your skill. And if you can pass the test, they fund you. If you're not good enough to pass the test, you're only going to lose what you pay for the combine. The base one's only $49. Only $49. A great way to learn how to day trade with limited risk. If you lose, it's not the end of the world. Again, if you're good enough to pass it, 90% split anyway. And so it's the best of both worlds. Limited risk, similar reward. And so again, if you want to check out TopStep, great way to help support your boy here on this channel. Again, they pay out millions of traders every year. They pay out millions of dollars every year. They fund thousands of traders a year, pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year. Great way to learn how to day trade with limited risk and just taking the challenge, build your skill. Also, you can use promo code today. Again, you can use the promo code New Year 2024. It ends today, though. It ends today. So again, you can kind of see everything here. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm incredibly biased in their favor because they pay me money. But if you want to check it out, there's the link. Great way to help support the channel. And again, hit that subscribe button, guys. We cover this number very quickly. Very quickly. We cover it within half a second of this report going live. And so if you want a reliable place to catch these numbers, we cover all the major economic events, jobless claims, retail sales, CPI, PPI next week, big, unemployment, Jerome Powell press conferences, FOMC meetings. We cover it all, stream it all live. It's a very reliable place. You can subscribe and you're going to have a one-stop shop. We stream all the major earnings calls as well, all the major earnings drops. We tell you guys when it's going to be, all that good stuff. So subscribe if you haven't yet. All completely free. My big thing is I don't sell a course. I don't sell a service. I don't claim to be an expert. I don't claim to be a good trader. That's why we're called Beginner Trading. We're just a resource and we're free. We don't have any paywalls behind our content. So subscribe if you haven't yet, team. This goes against the hard landing, correct? If everyone working, we aren't having a hard crash. Sure, it's less recession fears, certainly, more inflation fears. So, yeah. I mean, it depends on what GDP shows up as. I think GDP dropped last week, didn't it? But yeah, less recession fears, for sure. Last week we had, let me see. What dropped last week? We didn't have GDP last week. I think we had GDP the week before last, right? Let me see. Yeah, I think so. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, so yeah, GDP came in at 4.9% last time. But yeah, definitely not 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters like a lot of people fear. Certainly not that. Now, we are now scalping futures here on a funded program. Look, we're going to go ahead and cover that. I think we just made like $600 just now from that. It's actually a combine account, not a funded account, just to clarify. We haven't opened up our funded account yet. Oh, we made $500 just now on that one. Look, quick little day trade, scalping this. And again, in futures, you can basically trade the market. Was the data release? The market's interpreting as negative. But again, we don't freaking know how the market's gonna respond to any of this stuff. I like shorting this type of stuff, so we'll try maybe to short. It might be a little late though. We've already got a nice little cushion, so we'll try to scale in. We've got a $500 cushion on the day now. So if we bounce up a lot, we'll try to short some more. But we might not get the opportunity to. There we go. Scale into maybe 3 contracts max here. All right, there's 3. All right, we're back to flat. Take half off there, lock some profit in. All right, there we go. Cover. All right, so we just made another 150 bucks or so. We are now up on this one. 650 or so, right around 645. I love shorting those little piggybacking moves. I talk about this strategy a lot. I'll talk about the strategy here real quick. Let me see. So we're testing lows, Bonds moving up to almost 41% right now, almost 41%. Okay. All right, so we got another little pop-up. We'll probably short into this if we can. Same strategy, kind of scaling into it. I like this short a lot. But I might be wrong here. Maybe I just lose. But we got a big cushion. We're going to try to have a... All right, we just took half off there. Locked in some more. We're up about 700 on the day. We might add to this, too, if we break down enough. I want to see us retest lows is what I want. All right, there's 2 contracts. We'll get into 3 again. And I'm just getting punished here. Again, luckily, though, we have a pretty big cushion on the day, so... We're trading into that cushion. There we go. That'll be the last ad here, though. Very risky trade, but we have the cushion to justify it is the only reason we're potentially taking it. And again, this is how you set yourself up to have a little bit more risk-free trades here, team, if that makes sense. About to cut. Very close to cutting this trade flat on the day. Make sure I got right. If we break the top of this candle, I'm going to have to cut it. Yeah, we're going to have to cut it. So now we're slightly red on the day, unfortunately. And it's all good. We'll take another swing if we need to. All right, so we just got into another really nice trade here, short. We're up 120, now we're up less though. We'll hold the rest break even if we need to here. I like the short right here though, but I might be wrong. Watching the Dixie a little bit too. Market's kind of flat. 40, 50, 60. Yeah, I'm going to cut the rest flat. All right, so we're break even on the day now on this account, which is nice, but kind of going back and forth. Yeah, I mean, guys, this is a combine account, and so we're just we're taking big swings in it because we're funded on 3 accounts already. Oh, my watch. Okay, guys, hold on. I'm going to go grab my watch here. I'll be right back, team. I'll be right back. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab my watch. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. All right, so y'all want to see my watch? All right. Get some light over here. Hold on, let me get some light. It's the black and blue Rolex Batman. I guess I'll wear it. I get nervous wearing this thing, though, to be honest. I took out the links yesterday. I took them out myself, and I got really nervous doing it. But no, so I had them crack open the back while we were there to make sure it's real. Let's see. That's it right there. So it's the Rolex. It's the Rolex. It's titled. I think this one's actually technically called the Bat Girl because it has the Jubilee bracelet. It's still a man's watch, but they call it the Bat Girl because the Batman has the oyster bracelet. But this one's actually a little bit nicer than the Batman. Yeah, I mean, I'm in Texas, Evan. So I mean. You know, yeah, I'm not going to talk about how much it was. I don't have anybody to show. I'm ready to show my dad. I was going to buy a Rolex Submariner. All right, here's the story. I was going to buy a Rolex Submariner. I'm a Saints fan, right? So I was going to buy the black and gold Rolex Submariner. I talked to the guy, and the guy's like, hey, we got this one in shop, and he shows me a picture of it. And he's like, hey, we've got this one in shop. It's the black and gold Rolex Submariner. Look, I'll show you which one it was. It was this one right here. So he shows me this watch. Right, so he shows me this watch on the computer screen. Right, he shows me that watch. And so I'm like, okay, great. Go ahead and order it. Like, I'll take it. Like, go ahead and order it. Right? So when I get there, and he tells me it's reference number 11. He tells me it's reference number 11266613 or 116613. When I get there, it's from 1990. And it's only reference number 16613. So basically, it's the older version of it. You know, the text here, the date was yellow, and it was older, right? And it wasn't worth as much as how much they were trying to sell it to me for. They were trying to sell it to me at the new one price. And when I got there, I was like, nah. You know, I was like, I'm not interested in that one. I was like, it's just too old. You know, I'm looking for this as kind of like an investment piece. It might not appreciate or whatever, but like, it's just too old. And then when I told him, I was like, but then they had this Rolex Batman watch there. And I was like, hey, how much? I haggled with them and ended up getting this one. But yeah. Yeah, and again, I mean, this is kind of like an investment hedge almost. Like, I like watches. I'm a watch person. You know what I mean? And Rolexes, they actually hold their value really well. They hold their value really well. I usually wouldn't even tell to stream this. But like, it is kind of an investment piece. You know, like Rolexes tend to hold their value very well. You know, so it might not be as liquid as other investments, but that's the reason I got it. It's not like I'm just kind of flexing on people. I haven't even worn it, you know. I'm not saying I'm not going to, but like, it's not like I'm just kind of going to go out and buy a Lambo. But it really is something where Rolexes over the last 50 years have 50x'd, you know, in value. So all right. Again, the Q's pulling back a little bit. Part of me wants to short in my funded account. Part of me wants to short. I just don't trust it that much. So we'll give it a chance. Let me see how much this one is. I gotta make sure I'm in the right funded account before I start taking swings at this. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, okay, it is the right one. Let me make sure. Yeah, New Year 2024 is the code for sure. Yeah, I'm a big watch guy. Do you have any discount code? No. I probably shouldn't even told the stream. People get weird, bro, and jealous and weird on the internet. I'm just excited about it. I don't have anybody to show it to, and I know I'm gonna have some watch people here, so. Oh, I don't know if the code still works. It might not still work. All right, so we've got in one trade on our funded account. We are up a whopping $15 today. Whopping 15 bucks. Reversal for Apple. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to get here in this. I really don't. All right, so we just made a little bit more on our funded account, a little bit more gains here on the funded account. We are up today in our funded account about $100, $95. So we'll see if it holds. Hey, thanks, Bruce. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks, man. Yeah, you're probably right. It's just something I'm like excited about. So like, you know, I feel like I want to share it with you guys, but I also don't want people to get weird and, you know. Dude, we are excited for you. I remember when I got my first one. That's a cool thing. Hey, thanks so much, Steve. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man. Uh-oh. All right, I got to check. I think we might have some scammers in chat. Let me check. Let me use Google Translate here. If anybody's ever trying to bring anybody to privates, they're usually trying to scam you. And so never go to anybody with privates. Private messages, that is. Let me see. Not always. Let me be safe. Okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe not. If anybody else speaking those languages identifies that it's a scam, please let me know so I can boot them out of here. If it's not a scam, it's all good. Talk however you want to talk. People are weird no matter what, 100%, yeah. Yeah, so you can only have one combine with the code, according to Borneo. So yeah, you can only use one combine. So you can't use it multiple times. You can only use it once. All right, so now we're all the way back up on the queue. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm having to kind of Google translate it. Let me see. Sorry. Okay, yeah, that's a scammer. That's a scammer. He needs to get booted out of here. So Siraj is a scammer. Thank you. Appreciate it. That last quote was a scammer. Data looks bearish. Yeah, I mean, again, market's starting to rebound. We're almost all the way back up. We're almost all the way back up. So again, market's fighting its way back, almost all the way back up after non-farm payrolls came in at 216 versus 170. Expected unemployment came in lower than expected at 3.7%. And while this data is typically good for convention, in an inflation-fearing market, it ain't good. And the market is reacting and such. Market is reacting negatively to this report because, again, they're not interpreting this as a positive, optimistic thing. They're interpreting it as a negative thing. And so, again, we'll see what happens. Yeah, maybe the market overreacted to data. I think the market's already down a lot as well. So, again, Q trying to go green on this report. The dollar index actually breaking down a little bit here. I thought we wanted high unemployment. We do to a certain extent. That's why the market dropped down on 3.7 versus 3.8% unemployment, and non-farm payroll data coming in higher than expected made the market drop significantly. We're now finally starting to rebound back up, though, but... Can you calculate this? Price entry 2044. I'm assuming you mean gold. Yeah, gold. Take profit at 2024. What do you want to calculate? How much profit that would be? If you have $1,000, you buy $1,000 worth of shares of 2044. So what would you make? Like $10? Something like that? I don't know. Just looking at it. It depends on like a lot of nuance of it. Like it depends on a lot of conditions. What, you made $10? I mean, that's what it looks like to me. So you got half of basically 2,000, and then you make $20 gain from 2000 to 2024, 2044 to 2024, so half of that would be 10, Yeah, there's a lot of There's a lot to that we don't know. All right, guys. So over the 200 EMA on the queue. Look at the queue. It's right at the 200 EMA. All right. All right, guys. Again, y'all slap that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. We're just kind of sitting tight. We still got, over 30 minutes before these data come out. Or before the, do we have any economic reports after today? Let me check. I don't think we do. Today's Friday. Yeah, today's Friday. We got factory orders. Oh, we got ISM non-manufacturing PMI. So we do have some data coming out. We got ISM non-manufacturing PMI data today. I forgot about that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what it looks like. CPI and PPI next week. What if the Fed changed their paradigm to promote prosperity instead of despair? Would that fight inflation as well? A lot of depends. No, not really, Drew. The only way it would is if CEOs of big companies are found in it, and that could have some small effect negatively on those companies, but we're not really sure, brother. I don't think it's going to it's not going to be significant, in my opinion. I'm pretty pessimistic too, though, brother. I don't trust anybody or anything, really. JP Morgan, what's the resistance and support on the SPY? I'm not sure. Right now, we're pretty neutral from this report. Like, we're over the 200 EMA on the Q. If we look at the SPY, same thing. We're technically over the 200 EMA, like right here. Pretty neutral relative to when the report came out. Maybe slightly green from the report. Hey, thank you, Joe. Hey, later, Drew. Trust no one. Yeah, I really don't trust anybody. Time has proven that philosophy correct, though. Again, I got a lot of people that try to like be my best bud, like best friend. I've never experienced that in my life. Like, I got a lot of people who are like, who they meet me, they find out I have a YouTube channel, and not everybody. Some people are like, dumb YouTuber, I hate you, Other people, though, are all of a sudden wanting to be my best bud, my best friend. Usually the people who have something they want me to promote. I've had companies reach out with NFTs. I've had like, it really has gotten weird, especially with like some of my son's friends' parents. They find out I have this, and they all of a sudden want to be my best bud, my best friend. And again, I don't trust anybody. And so when I see somebody like that, I've even had some like weird type of like personality mirroring people who are trying to like very obviously mirror my personality and act like, oh, we're just alike. It makes you not trust people. It makes you not trust people. And I'm not claiming to have like the biggest, greatest YouTube channel in the world, of course. But you'd be surprised at how weird some people get, man. How weird some people get. Definitely top 3 best buds in the world ever. Yeah, I had a guy, one of my son's friends, he found out about it, and then all of a sudden had some other company come to me wanting to get me, and this was right in like the heat of the crypto boom when NFTs were like huge. Then all of a sudden they want me to like promote some type of NFT for some type of like chemical. It was just a weird thing, and I remember just being like I'm not gonna promote that to my following. And then they get weird, and like it's just, I don't know. I'm glad NFTs have disappeared out of the mainstream. I don't see any practical application. Yeah, I feel you. Some of them are okay. Like I understand some of these NFT companies, like it's just new art, modern art, and I understand that. I think there was a lot of bad copies of them though, like a lot of bad companies making them too. Bots are the biggest issue I have with them, where like they're so desperate for their NFT collection to succeed that they just spam people with bots and comments, unfortunately. People are sketchy. Oh, sure. People are just weird and selfish. Again, like I said, the weirdest people that I've ever met were people in which they tried to do what I'm doing and failed at it, right? So like the biggest haters the biggest haters I've ever had were people who had once had a crypto channel. They had once had, a channel like this. They had once had some type of YouTube channel, tried, failed, and then they instead like get weird, afterwards. Those are the weirdest ones that I've encountered. They've people who basically are resentful that I'm doing okay, I said it yesterday. I don't want to be friends with somebody that's resentful if I do something. If I succeed, they're resentful about it. I don't want to be friends with that. And you'd be surprised at how many people actually are friends with people like that, who are secretly like rooting for them to fail. It is what it is, but you got. I don't trust anybody. Hey, Austin, I'm a weirdo too, bro. Like I tell my son, weirdos. Everybody's weird. Those personality copying people are usually psychos, yeah. All right, so the market is now technically green. I wonder where my Nike hat is. I'm a hat guy. My hair's getting too long, so I just throw a hat on. Yeah, so look at Pawn. Pawn says, guys, it's been insane to see the back end of the channel and what people try to do. 100%, dude. People are freaking weird. You come across as a normal dude to me, doing his thing, trading, not pushing some penny stock. Thank you, Icky. I appreciate it. That's what I mean, I feel like I am. But, Yeah, sorry to hear that, official. Man, Dougie, that's scary, bro. You're okay for a weirdo. I always tell my wife, like, listen, any group you have, if they try to move you to a commune, run the freak away. If they move you to some type of, commune, run far, far away. I tell my sons, I gotta protect my kids, too. One thing I tell my kids is, like, listen, you might be a fan, you might idolize, you might romanticize certain people. If they ever try to bring you to a commune and separate you from your family, run far away from them. Like, be scared and run away and don't talk to them. I don't care how pretty the girl is. I don't care how successful the guy is. Run away, dude. You should get dreads. When I met Carol, she had dreads, believe it or not. When I met my wife, she had dreads. True story. True story. She might get mad at me for telling you guys this. True story. She was pretty with them, though. Like, they weren't real dreads. They weren't, like, fully, they were kind of like ponytail dreads, but still. I don't care how pretty the girl is. Hey, listen, that's the biggest, risk factor among men, If I was single and we had some really pretty girl that was part of a cult, like, hey, what's up? I might consider it, Twin Flame. I did see the Twin Flame documentary. Scary stuff, man. Scary stuff. Again, when people get manipulated into that type of stuff, it's almost always the same theme of story. Usually it goes something like this. People are at a really vulnerable place in their life, right? Like something crazy happens to them. Maybe they're at a really hard, like maybe they get left by their boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse. Maybe, a family member passes, whatever it is. There's some type of big event that happens in somebody's life. And then through that period of time, that's when whatever it is starts to kind of hit them. That's whenever the group is, whatever the cult is, they start to kind of chip away at them through that. And the person lets their guard down and gets so vulnerable because they're looking for something new. They're looking for something different. That's when they get caught up in that type of stuff, is usually when they have some type of big event. Like psychologically, that's when somebody's the least immune to that type of stuff, is when something like that happens. And so y'all just have to be resilient around that stuff and understand what it is. It's what I teach my kids. Like, listen, no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. If they ever try to bring you to a commune, run away. All right, market's starting to look great right now. Look at the market. Market's moving. We listen to you because you're a real man. You keep it 100%. Don't stop. Keep going. Oh, for sure, Mr. Q, 100%. It could be either side, Well, nerds run the world. That's what I tell my son. My son was diagnosed with a pretty high IQ. I think I've said it before. I don't want to come across as too braggy about it, but my son got diagnosed when we got him tested for ADHD, and his IQ was pretty high. With that, he's a little bit quirky, and so he's got friends, but he struggles socially a little bit more than normal people. He's a normal kid. He likes playing with stuff, drones, programming, stuff like that. But he's a little bit more quirky socially. I always try to tell him, I'm like, look, man, you might be a little nerdy now, and that's okay. I was like, but when you get older, as long as you don't make bad decisions, you've got huge potential, so don't waste it. I always tell him nerds run the world, man, so embrace it. All right, guys, we got 22 minutes. All right, guys, again, market's technically green from this report, which is really interesting. Initially, we had this big negative reaction from higher payroll numbers and lower unemployment, which is not a shock. Again, it makes sense when the market fears inflation, that more people working and spending is going to be interpreted as negative initially, and that's exactly what we got. We've since rebounded all the way back up, though. We're out technically green from this report. Still kind of flat, mostly. Like, we're not super green from it, but the previous closing price on the Q is right above us. So we're almost flat on the day overall. The SPY is a little bit closer to that. And so tech is lagging behind the regular market to a certain extent, I think. But yeah, it was like 120 something. It was like 125, I think, Damien. He had something called ADHD combined presentation when we got him tested. We originally were worried. This was when he was like 5. We were worried about autism at first, but we got him tested, and instead it was like slight OCD, ADHD combined presentation, high IQ, bad impulse control. At school, my classmates called me nerd. Yeah, I think modern age, though, they've gotten really good at, like, not ostracizing people for that type of stuff now. So I think we have evolved as people, over the last 20 years in that way, at least. This may be the push to trap new bull buyers. I might be completely wrong. Maybe. We'll see, dude. I think the market's down 4 days in a row. So, I think extension is on the downside today. And I'm starting to see tech move a little bit more green. Oh, I'm actually green in equities right now, mostly from Apple. I ended up dip buying Apple at the lows, and now we're green into it. So No, we don't give them much sugars. Bonds 10-year up to 40, almost 41, or almost 4.1% for the 10-year Treasury bonds. And again, a lot of the time, Treasury bonds are inversely correlated with markets, specifically because, you know, they're competitive with the S&P. Like, here's the Q, the NASDAQ, right? The more people that buy the NASDAQ, you know, again, the conventional appeal of bonds is guaranteed income. And so I can buy $100,000 worth of the 10-year right now and make around $4,000 a year in interest off of that 100K. And so over a 10-year period, I'm going to make about $40,000. I'm going to make about 40% return on my 100K over a 10-year period. And then at the end of that 10-year period, I'm going to get my 100K back at maturity. But it's guaranteed by the U.S. government. So the yield is slower than like the average yield of the S&P 500, but it's guaranteed. You don't have to worry about crashes or anything like that. Now, when you look at the Q, for instance, or the S&P 500 is the example I always use, that on average gives you 10%. Some years are going to do much better than 10%, like this past year where we had 24% gains over 2023. Some years we're going to do much worse than 10%, but on average, we're going to get about 10% returns, a much higher yield, but it's not guaranteed. And so because of that, they're competitive with each other. The more people that buy the S&P, the less people that buy bonds, and vice versa a lot of the time. And so it's one of the reasons you see, like, for instance, the 10-year on this report moved up. The 10-year bounced up on this report and then started following back down relative to the Q, which moved down initially and then started to follow back up. So it's kind of the opposite of each other because they're competitive in that way. But yeah, with that said, the 10-year bond, you move a decimal over, it's at about 4%, about 4.5%, 4.61% for bonds. So the promo code is New Year 2024, all one word, lowercase, but it only works once. They tried a bunch of different stuff, Daniel. Eventually, we just got him off of everything, and he's doing better than he ever was. And that's kind of like me. Like, I have ADHD as well, very similar to my son. That's why you kind of see me, like, it might look like I'm, like, shaking on stream, but I'm actually just bouncing my leg, which makes it look like I'm kind of shaking. I have, like, restless legs. It's hard for me to sit down. But yeah, that's basically what I have too. And again, I took medication when I was young. I never liked taking it. It was too unstable. You know, you'd be really happy and then really sad, and then every day was kind of a battle. I just never liked it. So I just kind of stopped taking medication when I was like 12 and never looked back and did okay. The good thing about ADHD is, again, you become obsessed with different things. And so you become like really, really obsessed with things, and you can hyper focus on things that you're interested in. You know, and if you're not interested in something, it's very difficult to focus. But luckily, like, I think over time, people with ADHD who actually have it, not everybody that says they have it has it. But eventually you learn to kind of manage it, and you learn little tricks to get yourself focused onto things, you know. Hey, thanks, Freddie. Yeah, it's been so long since I've tried meds, Justin. I don't want to tell people what to do. This is just me. Everybody's different. Tesla up to 237, starting to bounce back. Again, kind of choppy, though, when you look at the overall range. Apple is actually starting to rebound a lot right now. So Apple's starting to rebound a lot. I got to take this watch off. I don't like wearing it. I bump around too much. But yeah, so I'm going to put this watch up. I'm scared to freaking break this thing, man. Yeah, for sure, Sean. You know, A lot of people call it like a superpower for ADHD. I kind of agree. I mean, that hyperfocus can be beneficial. I mean, that's kind of how I created this YouTube channel in general, you know. So sometimes you could use it to your advantage. Yeah. Ironically, my wife actually got me a Samsung watch for Christmas. I got her an Apple Watch. I got my whole family freaking Apple Watches. It's a long story. I told the story already. We got the opening bell in 13 minutes. But yeah, I ordered an Apple Watch for my wife on Amazon. And they were like, yeah, it's going to be here December 21st. And I'm like, okay, great. December 21st rolls around and they update it and say, oh, never mind. Said Apple Watch is now going to be here December 28th. We're sorry. You can't cancel it. You can't speed it up. You're SOL. And so I'm like, man, what the heck? So I end up freaking out because it's like, I feel like it's the movie Jingle All the Way. And I end up ordering another one from Best Buy. And then Best Buy, I order it. Best Buy's like, yeah, you can pick it up in an hour. I order it and then go to pick it up and they're like, nope, it's not here. We sold out. And so I'm like, okay, great. So then I order another one off of Amazon. Anyways, long story short, I ended up ordering 3 Apple Watches. And then, funny enough, the first one that originally pushed it back to the 28th corrected it, and I ended up getting it the next day. And so then I had 3 Apple Watches, and I just ended up giving one to my daughter, one to my wife, and I'm going to give one to my son on his birthday in a couple days. So everybody's got smart watches now, I guess. Freaking Amazon. Speaking of Amazon efficiency with driving, you know. Hey, thank you, Joe. Yeah, y'all be safe today. It's Friday. I don't know what the market's going to give us. Market looks pretty bullish, though. It's starting to rebound. Bonds, on the other hand, starting to correct a little bit after pushing up a lot. So we'll see. Yeah, 10 years falling now. It's at 4.5 or 4.5%. Yeah, I was mad, David. I was really mad because, again, it was a Christmas gift. And so it's like them pushing it back a full week after promising it would be here a week before Christmas, which just kind of messed up. Apparently, it was some type of like issue with shipping, though. It wasn't actual Amazon, and they ended up getting it done, so it's all good. I just ended up having more Apple Watches than I needed. And so luckily, my whole family has Apple, and so it worked out, but... Yeah, I'm not trying to brag, Mateo. I'm really not. It was really kind of like a conundrum I had during the holiday, and so I'm really not trying to brag. I really wasn't planning to spend that much, and I certainly don't have that much money. I'm not super rich or wealthy or anything like that. I mean, I'm happy, of course, you know, and I really am genuinely happy, but like, I'm not super wealthy or rich or super successful or anything like that, and I don't mean if I come across that way. I'm just kind of filling time. Some people get weird about it. I'm just trying to talk. If I sit here quietly, you know, you can only talk about the market so much. Yeah, I'm a Samsung guy too. I invest a lot in Apple. Like, I'm in Apple right now. I bought the dip on Apple this morning. It looks like I got in right around the low. I'm still slightly red on the position overall though. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, the good thing about Amazon is that Amazon, again, I sold books, like, so again, you can kind of see this library that I have. Most of these books, I would love to pretend like I'm just some type of like super nerd that reads all the time. I'm not. Most of these watches actually came from, I used to have a used book business where I would go to thrift stores. Buy books for like 50 cents, 25 cents, $1, and resell them. I had a Bluetooth barcode scanner. I would go scan every book they had. It was retail arbitrage is what it was. I would scan every book they had, buy it for $1, resell it for like 20, 30, and I would program the scanner to jingle every time whatever I was scanning, the lowest price on Amazon was over $20. And so I'd just kind of go around and scan every book that they had and buy it if it was worthwhile. If it was over $20, I'd buy it for like $1, 50 cents, $2, whatever it was, and resell it for really good margins. Eventually, though, over time, and I ended up having that business for a few years, and I made thousands of dollars a month doing it. But eventually, it became really saturated. Like, I think the word got out, and a lot of people started doing the same thing. And so, you know, when I first started going, I would go to like Goodwill. Goodwills are the worst places to go to. Like charity, religion, thrift shops are the best places. Like they'll sell books for 50 cents and good books too. But I digress. Back to the point. Eventually, it got really saturated to where everybody started doing it. Like everybody started doing it. I would go to a thrift store and I would have 5 other people doing it simultaneously. And so it just got to a point where it wasn't really feasible to do it as a business anymore. But it did. That business did help me survive long enough to start another business and kind of piggyback off of that. And then, you know, so. Again, I wouldn't try it anymore. It's saturated now. But it is a good business for its time. Yeah, it's definitely not bragging. I don't buy anything. You know, I really don't buy anything. That watch purchase is the biggest purchase I've made in a minute. I don't know about that tee. All right, guys, look. So the previous closing price on the Q is right here at $396. Right here at $396. Yeah, it's too saturated now. Too many people trying to do it. You know, but again, I mean, maybe you might be able to do it now. The reality of it is, like, you need to be in a pretty big city, and I'm in the Houston area, so I could just literally make a loop around Houston and go to a different one every day and just hit every single one in the Houston area, and then take a break for a couple days and then do it again. A lot of driving, though. A lot of, like, manual, like, listing work. Like, listing those things takes a lot of time and effort, and so it wasn't necessarily an easy job or a passive job for that matter, but it worked, you know. Yeah, it wasn't $5K for a watch. These Apple watches are like what, like $300, and so it wasn't that much. $400. Heck, nice. Congrats, T. That's great, man. That's great. Congrats, brother. Yeah, I don't know. The market's moving up. It looks strong in pre-market. It doesn't mean it's going to hold. Again, Apple almost at the previous closing price. You can see the Q. The light blue line here on the chart is the previous close. See, I'm going to get ready to day trade a little bit more, though. Again, we're kind of flat now. Oh, no, we're actually green on our funded account. I forgot. All right, so we're going to get ready to day trade some here. All right, see, we got almost 700 people here still. We got less than 5 minutes. Have you seen Telebone Booth Jitsu? No, I've seen Car Jitsu, though, and it just doesn't look like it's for me. Again, I'm going to buy this dip. I think this looks like a cup and handle breakout. Wait, what? Am I in the wrong account? What? It should let me buy it. Hold on. Weird. Is this not working now? Let me see. Let's try this one then. Bear with me, team. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, we'll just have to use this one. I don't know why that one. I'm not anywhere near my here. I think I missed the trade though, but here we'll go ahead and take it. All right, we're at 45, 75, 90. Go ahead and cut that. Make about $100. Cup and handle bounce is what I wanted. I would have been on more too, unfortunately, but that's all good. Yeah, the card or the really enclosed space jitsu stuff. All right, Market's trying to go green on the day. Look at the SPY. Cube actually almost technically green on the day. But yeah, the problem is it's too tight space, right? Like jiu-jitsu, you have to have room, or it's gonna be kind of a cancel out any action. You know, if it's too enclosed, then nobody's going to be able to do anything. It's going to just stall the whole time. So it looks kind of dumb, unnecessary. I don't think the audience for those styles are big enough to really succeed long term anyway. You know what I mean? Like, one of the big problems that people on YouTube face is that if you're going to create a YouTube channel about a specific niche, you got to make sure the niche is large enough to justify it. You know, you see people creating YouTube channels around niches that are so freaking small, and they're putting all this work in, and there's really not a way to do much. You got to make sure it's scalable and there's a big enough audience for it, you know. Yeah, I mean, again, definitely less recession fears after this report. High payroll numbers, low unemployment. You know, the problem is, like, people, here's the issue I see with a lot of people. People are too rigid with their predictions, man. And in trading, you can't be so rigid. A lot of people predicted recessions last year in 2023. We obviously did not have a recession. Market moved up 24%. GDP grew. Unemployment remained low. Just not a recession market. I think a lot of people are now predicting recession this year, and I think the reason you hear people be like, oh, those numbers are fake, the numbers are wrong, or whatever, is because what the numbers signal is less recession fears. You know, it's worse for inflation problems, of course, but it's better for soft landing potential. All right, there's the opening bell. Apple technically green on the day now, too, or was technically green. Let's do this. All right, so again, Quantum CA moving down, but look at Apple. Apple ripping up. Bonds moving down on this news. Here's Tesla on the top, or the bottom right here. Tesla moving up as well. Apple technically green on the day now. So we are getting some rebounds and everything. All right, so we got a big pop-up. Yeah, I mean, that's how it goes. In high school, I was pretty nerdy, man. I wasn't nerdy, actually. I wasn't nerdy. Yeah, I wasn't nerdy. I was kind of like, it's hard to explain. I was kind of, I don't know. All right, we're going to wait for the market to slow down. Almost an outcast, I would say. Always kind of shy and nervous. You know, it's funny, as I got older, I was always just really shy and nervous. So it's ironic that right now I'm sitting in front of 700 people live. If I was sitting in front of 700 real people, especially like when payroll numbers dropped, we had about 2,000 people here. If I was sitting in front of 2,000 real people, I would poop myself, dude. I would literally freak out. I was the type in school where, here, hold on. Hello? Hello? Hi. All right. All right. Love you, bro. All right. Yeah, if I was sitting in front of this many people, I know y'all are real, but I can't see you, so y'all are just internet imaginary people to me. Look at the NASDAQ rip up, though, here, team. Equities market pushing up. Again, I don't think we're going to break the 4% needed to still have a green week this week. But we're getting the start here. We're getting the start. NASDAQ technically green on the day. That's great. If we look at like the SPY here as well. SPY technically green on the day now also here. We still got a long percentage to go, but still. Yeah, y'all are just online imaginary people here, guys. You guys know. Tesla's starting to fall down a little bit. Boston Scientific ripping up this morning. Wait, I'm not real? You know, you're real-ish. You know, you're real-ish. But again, if I was in front of 2,000 people, I was the type of person when I read a report, when I had to read a report in front of the class, I would read it as fast as humanly possible. You know, my presentation always didn't get high grades because I would just rush through that thing. Again, Apple's still trying to move up. NASDAQ consolidating a little bit. We have some up wicks, though. Tesla actually rejected under the 200 EMA, under the volume-weighted average price. We'll see if this drags the rest of the market down. You can see it on the bottom right here. Am I just numbers to you, John? I got a tattoo of you for what? Bro, I'd love to see that tattoo. You know? If your tattoo doesn't look like this emoji right here, you know, you're failing at life right now, okay? I expect it to look just like this. You know? Oh, well, debate's a different story. I'm solid at debate. I can debate anything. Top 3 greatest debaters of all time. SPY up to 468. Yeah. All right, Apple, guys, up to 182.50, 182.50. SPY ripping up here, looking very strong. Q up to over 397. Tesla rebounding even as well, testing the 200 EMA right now. Yeah, it needs to say handsome, humble, greatest ever underneath it. If it doesn't, you know, you're failing in life, sir. I knew somebody was going to hit that joke, San Diego. Again, SPY over 468s now. Let's see if it actually holds. Apple at 182.60. 182.60. Market doesn't care about Tesla. It certainly cares to a certain extent. Like it all has to do with weight. Apple's the heaviest weighted stock in the market. On both major index funds, the S&P and the NASDAQ, Apple's number 1. Tesla, I think, is like either number 6 or 7. So Tesla's a heavily weighted stock. It might not be as heavily weighted as like Microsoft or Nvidia, which are both up nicely today. I'm in Microsoft as well. It looks great. So the market's making a push. It's not going to hit 4% though. Again, so we're still probably going to have a red week, but we are getting some rebounds here today, which is good. It's good. Weren't you calling for the market to go down following the report that came out this morning? What I said was that the market would probably react negatively to higher payroll numbers. And again, that's kind of what we got. It ended up rebounding back up. But again, this is exactly when the report came out. So we did have initially a negative response to the report. It didn't hold, though, and the market's not. I mean, again, maybe this is a delayed response to the market, and maybe the market, because it means less recession fears, maybe it means the market is back to normal. Again, I certainly could have been wrong here, and I might be wrong. I'm not sure. I know initially we had a negative reaction, but again, market just churned up and starts to look good. And so again, I certainly could have been wrong there. Definitely top 3 most wrong trader ever about that prediction. 10-year back to 4.05%. Yeah. ETF approval or no? I don't know. I think it's possible we get approved, but hey, nice. You bought Disney at this level for long term. Where's Disney at? I'm in Disney already. I'm basically flat on the position. I don't think buying Disney here is a bad move necessarily. I'm not telling you to buy it. I have no idea what it's going to do. But I think the new Star Wars movie coming out, hey, thank you, Sean, my guy. Shout out to Sean for becoming a member. Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate it. Shout out to Sean for becoming a member. Thanks, man. NASDAQ is trying here. It's trying to move up. We've got so much upward action, though. I'm scared to take any big positions here, though. KC, are you the KC that was banned a month or two ago that would argue about everything I would say? Is that you, KC? Is it the toxic KC or not? I'm trying to think of how common the name KC would be. Hey, that's a suspect, huh? He said, huh, man. I think that's sus, bro. Just to quote my son. My son loves Among Us, so he's saying sus. His little group with his friends is the Sussy crew. I think the name was KC Football or something like that. Is that you? KC Football? Is that you? Drama in the chat this morning. Disney starting to pull back a little bit. Apple testing highs, rejecting at that high. We got a decent little pullback here. I'm going to play with this and buy it. We already got a cushion on the day. All right, just scalped about 50 bucks. We got $130 in profit. I don't watch football. Okay, so maybe you're a different KC. It's all good then, brother. It's all good, man. Would you ban him if it was him? Is that soccer? Soccer is soccer, I'm not in Europe. I'm not going to argue that soccer is football and football is soccer and soccer is the greatest sport in the world. I'm not about that. Soccer is boring, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Fight me about it. All right, so we're going to buy this dip again. See if we pop it up. We're going to try to add to this, take a swing. This is a combine account. So again, we're going to have some fun this morning on a Friday and scale into max size, play with it. We got a cushion, so we can play a little bit with this. All right, took half off. Take more off. All right, so we got our first cushion of the day here in this one. About $300, $280, $275 actually. Disney now dipping down some. I know, it's all good. Look, I'm from the U.S. and so my favorite sport is baseball and football. I'm a baseball, football, MMA guy. All right, so listen, I'm not against you soccer players, as long as you can admit it's the worst sport in the world and it's called soccer. No, I'm just joking. It's all good. Like I said, I can respect soccer. Takes some athletes though. I can respect it. I'm just messing with you guys. Soccer players, man, they've got the cardio of a tank, man. Maybe the tank's not the best analogy. Anyways, soccer players are some athletes. All right. So props to the soccer players out there. I'm not hating on you guys. Disney's starting to move up. Apple might bounce up a little bit as well. Q holding over the previous closing price. Tesla incredibly flat on the day. Incredibly flat. Who's your favorite MMA fighter? I like a lot of them. I like Sean O'Malley right now. I think Sean O'Malley is good. He's fun to watch. People hate on him because he's got pink hair and stuff, but I think he's fun to watch. You know, I liked Khabib a lot when he fought Justin Gaethje, another good one. I like Leon Edwards right now too, although Leon's been a little boring lately, but he's got the title, so he's kind of defending his title against wrestlers and stuff, so I can't knock him too much. You know, lately the favorite sport that I actually do is jiu-jitsu. Brazilian jiu-jitsu has been my latest sport. I'm a terrible white belt though, but it's been my latest sport. All right, guys. Again, Apple pulling back a little bit. Part of me wants to buy this dip again. It depends on what Apple does right here, though. All right, we're going to start to play with this a little bit. Again, we've got a huge cushion on the day now. Not a huge one. So we can scale in. I'm watching Apple to see if it bets at the volume, bounces at the VWAP. All right, just made another 100 real quick. We got about 350 on the day now here. We're trying to get funded in 2 days. Disney broke highs again. My equities portfolio is really nicely green on the day also, though. Mostly from Apple, though. Why did the market go up even if non-farm payroll was higher? Please stop spamming, brother. Okay, before I put you in timeout, I'll give you a second to stop. If it keeps going after about 5 seconds, I'm going to ban you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, why the market went up, I'm not sure. Nobody knows why the market went up. Again, maybe the market is optimistic because of less recession risks, you know, less of a worry about a hard landing, more potential soft landing, you know, sentiment. And so I'm guessing that could be one of the reasons. And again, if that's true, then I was certainly wrong about the outcome of this morning's data, you know, without question. If that's true, then I'm wrong. But it doesn't necessarily mean I'm wrong. Initially, we did react negatively to this report. You can see we initially dropped down. It could just be extension on the downside. I mean, the market's down almost 4% on the week prior to today. And so, you know, the market's down almost 4%. The last 2.5 months were up, you know, 20% basically prior to this week. And so we could just be extended on the downside pullback and starting to recover a little bit from it. But yeah, it's open to speculation. Yeah, my son does it as well. My daughter does it too. I got my whole family into it. My daughter, freaking tank, bro. She goes out there, dude. My daughter went out there first week ever learning jiu-jitsu, and they did King of the Hill, and she was the king the entire day. My daughter's a softball player, so she would just throw these kids around. So she did really good for her first day ever. Hey, thank you, Michael. Are you the guy that spammed? What are you apologizing for, brother? But thanks so much. I appreciate the dono, man. Thanks so much, man. Shout out to Michael for the donation. How's your neck holding up with all that bad posture? It's all right. Definitely top 3 worst postures ever. Let me fix my posture. Oh, man, that definitely feels better. Yeah, we got 15 minutes until services PMI data comes out. 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm actually not really short. Like, I'm 5'11", but I look really short because I hunch a lot. I gotta fix my posture. I went to the chiropractor, and he was like legit mad at me. You know? Like, he really got mad at me. He was like, hey, man, you know. Disney flying up over 91s right now. Apple's still kind of battling that volume weighted average price VWAP level though. Like if we put up Apple here, I think there's risks because again, Apple consolidating right over that previous close volume weighted average price level here. I think there's risks. But yeah, thanks for the donation, brother. I appreciate it. But Apple #1 weighted stock in the S&P and the NASDAQ. So if it doesn't hold, the market's going to turn. Was he mad over your bad posture? I don't know, man. Again, I'm like I told you guys earlier, I'm kind of skeptical of everything. I'm definitely skeptical of chiropractic. Of chiropractors. I don't even know if the chiropractic is the correct word for it, but I'm definitely skeptical of chiropractors. The reason I'm skeptical is because they're not actual doctors, and it's certainly up in the air about whether it actually works or not. You know, some people say it's the greatest thing ever. Other people say it's like essentially a placebo effect. And I can see both of them, you know, so I'm not completely sold on it, to be honest. And I know we're going to have a lot of chiropractors or people who use them in here being like, nah, it's the best. But again, I'm pretty skeptical of them overall. I'm not saying they don't work. I've never noticed any huge differences, but I'm not really somebody that's really consistently sore either. All right, Apple's starting to move up. The NASDAQ's still testing the highs up here. Yeah, I mean, he was mad because I went to him and he basically attributed my stomach issues to not going to the chiropractor enough, which immediately made me distrust him. Like, I didn't trust him at all after he told me that because I was just kind of like, all right, bro. You know, that's like if I was selling sandwiches and somebody came in with a hurt leg and I was like, yeah, bro, you're not eating enough sandwiches, dude. Like, freaking eat more. And so immediately I didn't trust him. And then when I went back to him like 2 months later because my wife was going, then he's like, hey, then he's mad at me because he was like, I told you to come back weekly. And I didn't want to tell him, yeah, bro, but it's in your best interest to do so. Like, you just, you know, you want to get paid more. But instead, I just kind of let him do it. And then he was really rough with me. I don't know, man. I don't trust him. Maybe he's telling the truth and I'm just a jerk about it. All right, so there's Apple starting to break under the volume weighted average price. Again, I told you guys, this might influence everything else. Apple's starting to flush under the previous closing price here. So Apple now technically red on the day. Let's see if it bounces back, and if it does, it might influence this double top in the market here. So again, look at Apple in the top right, starting to break down here. Bro, is gold buy or sell? Gabe, dude, listen to me, and I'm going to tell you this because you've said it about 20 times here. I don't know, brother. Dude, nobody knows whether you should buy or sell gold right now. If you're on some random person's stream begging them to tell you whether to buy gold, bro, go check yourself into rehab, man. Like, seriously, dude, there's no reason to ask me this so much. Nobody knows. Nobody knows whether you should buy or sell gold right now. Freaking nobody does. I don't. Warren Buffett doesn't freaking know. Actually, he might actually know, but stop asking me. I get that question 30 times a day. Stop it. Stop asking me. I don't know whether you should buy gold or not, brother. I really don't. Apple bouncing back over the previous closing price, though. So we'll see if it actually holds. Yeah, I'm just kind of, I'm semi-trolling you, though, brother. So it's all good. Definitely don't copy me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Tesla is green on the day. Tesla over 238s now for a split second. It's back under it. Let's see if it holds. Yeah, maybe. That's how I hear it, Solman. Like, that's how I hear it. That's all I hear in my head. Again, I'm skeptical. He's not going to get it from me, though. I'm very consistent. Oh, I do like this beat, though. Listen to this beat. Tell me it's not a good beat. All right, market's trying to break highs. Look at Tesla rip up over the last couple minutes. Is this catalyst related? Apple bouncing. Tesla. Over 238s, over the previous closing price, technically green on the day. Apple bouncing back. I'm a little bit more optimistic, but I also think we're at a point in which we're too high up. Tell me that's not a good beat, bro. That song gets stuck in my head after the stream's over. Disney pulling back. Apple still moving. This one's not as good, so I'm going to turn it down. But y'all listen to garbage rap? How dare you, sir? I'm kind of a rap nerd. I kind of am, you know. I'm getting old, and so, you know, I listen to a little bit of everything now. But I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Baton Rouge. It's kind of like a musical hub of Louisiana, Baton Rouge and New Orleans. So, yeah, we're doing crypto live today. Yeah, we're gonna do a crypto show. Again, we're waiting for PMI data to come out. We got services PMI data dropping soon at 10 a.m. So we're just kind of sitting around waiting for this report to go live. All right, guys, remember we do have man, the market hasn't freaking moved in the last like 5 minutes. Buying up a little bit more Disney here, I think. Again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. Funded program and futures. They give you a demo. They test your skill. Great way to learn how to day trade if you haven't. You know, again, the problem with most day traders, if you try to day trade stocks, you need at least 25K to do so freely. You could try to cash account, but a cash account, you're going to be so restricted, it's probably not going to be worth it. And again, the reality is most day traders lose money. And so you can either put up thousands of dollars yourself trying to look good and probably lose in day trading, or you could try a funded account program like Top Step. Limit your risk, still learn to day trade. If you're good enough to pass the test, what they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill in futures. And you can trade essentially the Q in futures in the NASDAQ, essentially the S&P 500 in futures. Currencies, gold, silver, patterns are very similar to blue chips. But again, they give you a 50K demo for the base one. If you can hit 3K in profit without losing 2K, so it's a 2 to 3 ratio, and following their rules, they fund you 50K with a 90% split. And so you're paying $49 for this. Some paper trading accounts, like I remember I used to use DOS paper. It costs like $120 a month. So some basic paper trading accounts and stocks cost more than this. $49 for the base combine on Top Step. And if you use promo code New Year 2024, all one word, lowercase, if it's for one time, you can get 50% off. And so again, if you lose, you're only out what you pay for the combine. If you're good enough to pass it, you get to keep your first 10K in profit and withdraw. They pay out millions, fund thousands a year, been around for over a decade. And again, once you're funded, there's a 90% split anyway. So just taking this challenge builds your skill. If you're good enough to pass it, great. If you're not good enough to pass it, again, you're probably going to lose less than you would putting the money up yourself anyway. And so it's the best of both worlds. Great way to test yourself, see if you're ready for real money. And again, if you're not, you're going to lose a small amount relative to what you would putting the money up yourself. If you're good enough to pass it, eventually you can move on to real money or do whatever you want to do. And again, in that regard, I think it just makes sense. And so again, if you haven't already, I'll put this link up. Great way to help support your boy here and this channel. They are a sponsor of mine. Of course, I'm biased because they pay me money. So, of course, I'm biased. But again, check them out. Here's the link. Market's finally dipping down. Part of me wants to buy the dip. But Apple's now under the previous closing price, so I don't really trust it either. We'll see. I guess I could try to buy the dip since it's this is a combine account. But my actual funded account, we're up $100 or so today, so not a ton. But it's Friday. It's an economic report day, and really I'm watching Apple here, so we're going to scale into a trade, play around on the funded account. Let's see if Tesla holds too. Tesla heavily weighted stock. The problem is I see Apple starting to dip here, and I don't really trust it. Still technically green on the day. Yeah, we got services PMI in 2 minutes as well, team, so y'all be ready. All right, we'll add one more to this, and then that's it. Oh, wait. We do have PMI in 2 minutes here, team. I got to cut this. Crap. We got less than a minute, so I'll give it time to work. All right, we're going to take half of that off immediately and lock it in and basically be flat on the trade. All right, guys, we got less than a minute before PMI data comes out. All right, 40 seconds here, team, 40 seconds. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're called up. Tesla bouncing back up. Again, we're green on this position, up 75, 85. 150, 170. We're gonna go ahead and cut that. All right, so now we're up about 400. We actually ended up making money on that trade sequence. We're up about 4 on the day, a little bit less. Again, here's the P&L if you want to look at it. We got about a 3-to-1 win-loss ratio. 10 seconds, guys, 10 seconds. Again, PMI data is expected at 52.6 for non-manufacturing services PMI. All right, so again, there's the release. It came in at under expected at 50.6 versus 52.6. Again, the market's still liking economic weakness. Look at the market move up on this services PMI report. The market's still liking economic weakness. Look at the ISM services. Again, we're bouncing pretty significantly from this report, which again signaled more economic weakness. I guess the market still doesn't like big, heavy jobs, and this signals less jobs, and so this is making the market move up. Interesting enough. Wow, it's a big move. All right, look at the market rip up on services PMI, surprisingly enough. Again, it came in well under expected here. If you look at services PMI, it came in at 50.6 versus 52.6. So we'll put this up on screen. I gotta exit out of some of these reports. Hold on, bear with me, team. Big rip from this report, though. Again, we came in under expected numbers. All right, we'll put this up. There's the report right there. Markets are loving this here, too. Interesting. Nice. Bonds just yeeted. Yeah, I mean, the whole market's up. Bonds are, what, going down, I'm assuming, right? Let me see. Bonds, TNX is the 10-year. Yeah, bonds are dumping down as the market rips up. Big pop on the market, too. Equities are doing really nice. That's cool. Huge rip, huge rip. Wow. Slowdown keeps others' rate cuts in play. Maybe. When do y'all think they're going to cut rates is the question. All right, guys, we're going to get ready to do our crypto show today. And again, if you haven't already, my other sponsor that we talk about is called Chart Prime. It's a trading view indicator service you can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. Again, what I love using here for Chart Prime is their strong signals. Man, their strong signals, genuinely useful in my opinion. They're a sponsor of mine though, so as I always tell you guys, of course I'm biased because they pay me money, you know. So I always try to tell people when I'm biased. But again, I think they've done a lot of updates to their indicators here. And again, check out the strong signals. Check out the strong signals. All right, so like, look, here's the market oracle regular. Look at how powerful these strong signals are. So look at when a strong signal shows up. Like, look, this is a 5-minute chart. And so again, I can't fake this either. Like, look, strong signal here, boom, big breakdown. Strong signal here, boom, big breakdown. Strong signal here, boom, big breakup. So there's 75% accuracy just on these, and this one might have worked as well. And again, this is a 5-minute chart. You can also shorten or longen the time frame. The regular market dynamics shows like flag patterns. It's still loading, but look how cool this is, man. This is pretty solid. Again, if I put up a 1-minute chart, you can look at it on a 1-minute perspective as well. Just genuinely pretty cool, and there's so much stuff. Again, look at the strong signals on a 1-minute chart. It's even better. Look at this strong signal here. Beautiful trend. You can see the trend show. Strong signal here, nice little dip. Strong signal here, nice little bounce. Sell signal here worked as well. And so powerful in my opinion. Again, you can use this on any symbol, any time frame on TradingView. Great way to help support the channel. Again, they are a sponsor of mine. And so again, if you want to check it out, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can, you know. Always make your own assessment, but there's the promo code if you want to use them. It's like 40 or 50 bucks a month if you use my link, I think. So they just did a really nice update too that I'm checking out. So pretty cool update. And they're a sponsor, so I'm biased. You can check out the link here. Yeah, so we're going to do a crypto show on, if it doesn't bring you to the crypto show for whatever reason here. All right, if it doesn't bring you to the crypto show, here's the link for the crypto show channel. Again, so if it doesn't bring you, here's the link. And again, as soon as we close this stream, it should bring you there in redirect. And so just click go to redirect afterwards at the end of when this stream ends, just click go to it. And again, we're going to get ready to start the stream up, guys. So again, I love you all. Y'all be safe. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, check out the link in the description. Funded account program in futures lets you learn how to trade. You can check out our other sponsors. I love you all, guys. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Channel's had some crazy good growth over the last month, and it's been fun, guys. So thanks so much for choosing to spend your morning here with economic reports and data. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Be safe. And good luck, guys. We'll see you guys a little bit. Again, as soon as we end the stream, it should bring you there. We gave you the link in case it doesn't. Y'all have a great weekend. Y'all be safe. Ten-year yield is falling. Market's flying up right now, which is interesting. Markets are ripping. All right, guys. Hey, I'll see you guys over there.